10 minutes ago.
All right.
Just got here.
Yeah, Fred just got here.
Welcome to the YuSkool podcast.
Could you say hello? Hello.
Hey, Fred Rogers.
Hank's Look Around
We
Cafe.
are not at Hank's Look Around Cafe. We are at Matt's Barn.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Hulhauser.
Welcome.
Hi, Meryl.
The show's gonna be funny.
I hope so, too.
Oh, boy.
Grant Napier, thanks for joining us.
The show is crazy,
Oh, it's OJ.
but it's so crazy you kind of keep watching.
Hello.
This is Craig back on a podcast at YuSkool after a long, long time.
Here's Brandon's part that he hates.
Norwegians.
This podcast hopefully is going to get us where we want to get.
I got more, guys.
All right, how's everybody?
What's that?
Nice to meet y'all.
Before you go, I'd like to have you win this.
This is very exciting.
Thank you.
Afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon, Norm.
Recording in progress.
Welcome to the YuSkool podcast.
And last one.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Very,
What's up, guys?
Very strict rules.
Shit.
All right, we're going to start another YuSkool episode. To all who shall see these present greetings, today is Monday. Only 104 more days until Christmas. And 167 days until Almond Blossom. This show will start in the matter of 10, 9, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0. And this just happens to be episode number 112. I would like to introduce the table, but before I do that, I'd like to introduce myself. It's me, it's Alan T, my J.O.B. behind the MIC with the station that rules the pools and reaches the beaches. Some call me the Turkey Machine, Al Baby, Reverend Al, Sweet Al, Al Pastor, DJ Sticky Buttons, Gorilla Paw, Dutch, Storm and Norman, Super Tight Allen, etc., etc. All names I've given myself, except for Storm and Norman and Dutch. You'd think I'd have that memorized by now, but I don't.
You shouldn't.
I'm winded. It's been a while since I said that. All right, it's my pleasure to introduce the table. To my right, Mr. Fred Bonell. Fred, welcome back to the podcast.
Hello, everybody.
Good to have you.
Welcome back.
I can't find my cheers. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the podcast, Fred.
Thank you. Thank you.
To his right, Mr. Eli Day. Welcome back to the podcast.
Pardon me. Sorry about that. I apologize.
Okay, good.
Fred, good to see you.
Excuse me.
And let me, since we have a guest, let me find the real thing that we usually do. Okay, across the table from you guys, Mr. North Valley Empire himself, Matt Burgoz. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, good to have you. Sorry that the introduction was a little bit elementary.
No, that's perfect. You guys got an awesome setup. I love it.
Thank you. And we are once again, Matt's barn, Matt Colchera's barn. He's very hospitable.
It's not Matt's Look Around Cafe.
No, it's that would be Hank's Look Around Cafe.
Yeah.
I thought it's Matt's Reach Around Cafe.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, boy. What it is? Could you do me a favor and just say Matt's Reach Around Cafe?
Matt's Reach Around Cafe.
That's going to be a new sound bit for whenever we're here. We're just going to use that. I like that. And let me go find some more music. That way we can keep going, because I don't think we're done.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just keep going. And you guys, what are we drinking? I'm having a Coors Light, my 17,597th Coors Light ever.
I'm having my first cocktail tonight.
First cocktail, all right.
I'm having a Coors Light as well. Hydrating.
Good. Matt? Water?
I'm a little embarrassed. I just got some water right here.
Hey, it's all good. You pick your poison.
It's still early.
Yeah, there's beers in the fridge if you want to loosen up at all.
He's got to drive home. But if he doesn't want to drive home, we can just pick his car up and put it in the back of Eli's truck.
Yes, you can.
Was that a knock on his car?
I thought it was your golf cart there for a minute.
Whoa. It's about maybe the 342nd time I've heard that particular.
Probably, I bet. Yeah. You can't take that to Costco, can you?
No, the great thing is though, is if you went to Costco with it and you came home, you could just mow your lawn right after.
Sure. You can probably just drive it around inside of Costco, right? So but you only put like 6 things in it.
And it's not even the biggest cart they got there.
Probably not.
If you went to Roller King, was there still a Roller King in Stockton, Sacramento? But if you went to Roller King, you could just drive it around the rink.
It's a little Zamboni.
It's about the
roller ring Zamboni.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, okay, this guy's brand new to the podcast, and he's smashing his car. Jeez Louise.
It's old news now. It's old news. The gas prices, you guys can understand maybe a little bit. Can't drive my 4Runner around every day.
So do you commute for work?
Not too much. No, I live in the Stockton area, and I go to Lodi every day, so not too much. But
so coming here was a commute. That's why I drove the buggy.
Barely.
We should be giving them gas money for coming onto the podcast.
A stipend?
Sponsors. Sponsorship money.
Now, you have your own podcast now, too, right?
Yeah, North Valley Empire. We do a bunch of different things, podcast being one of them. Me, my father, my brother, and some other guests and stuff that we'll have on every once in a while, usually football coaches. We've had SinCal commissioner on. We actually had Coach Anthony on, and unfortunately that podcast did not make it to post-production. It just I've been full of bad luck, as you'll find out.
Did you lose it?
The laptop just completely croaked on me, the hard drive and everything, and I just could not recover it.
Let me make sure everything's recording right now.
Yeah.
This is recording. So far, so good. Who knows? Matt's barn could burn down.
Hopefully not.
So you guys recorded a whole entire podcast, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That happens.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Everybody who's recorded anything, it's happened to them.
Yep.
So you're not alone.
I'm happy to hear that.
I know if you guys, not
like
myself,
it happens to me.
but they've done it like 3 times, where they get somebody in, they do a whole podcast, and gone.
We've lost parts.
We've lost parts. No, we've done like a whole hour, and then it just. Remember Eli? That one time it just clicked.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what it was. I ordered a new plug, and came in, and they said that was the problem. I haven't had the situation before, but I think you moved your foot like
I might
1
have
inch.
kicked something. Yeah.
1 inch. And
No,
like,
it's
ding,
Eli's fault.
Pulled a wire.
It happens.
But it's not the first time that's happened to me, though. I could like move a pencil, and it goes off. So it's just a one wiggle. You're an electrician, you know.
Oh yeah, I know all about it.
You know, on your spare time.
Yes.
So Matt, you run. Let me introduce what you run, because what you run is kind of a big deal.
Snail.
Yeah.
Is it a big deal?
I gotta get into that.
Oh.
What?
Don't you remember that?
His nickname?
Snail.
Snail.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
No, not to cut you off, Matt, but getting back to the podcast we were talking about earlier before we started the show, the Phil, and it was his father was on it as well. And to hear that his nickname in basketball was Snail was amazing.
Yes.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, that came from Josh Travasi.
I wish I would have met your coach.
From no, it wasn't the coach that gave me. It was one of
Oh,
my
I thought it
players.
was a coach. Oh.
No,
Who was your coach back then?
freshman basketball, Dave Van Eldren.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was the guy that now coaches the Hornets or whatever his name is.
No. Scotty Brooks.
No, it wasn't Scott Brooks. It was the other guy.
Oh,
His-
Terpstra?
his, like,
Terpstra.
yeah, he's from Ripon.
No.
The,
He was
like,
the varsity coach when I was a freshman.
7'5" guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No.
But they gave you the nick.
Josh Travasi gave me the nickname Snail.
And Josh went to RC at that time,
He did.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
That might resurrect as your nickname.
I had it put. So we went to basketball camp later that next year between my freshman and sophomore year. This is riveting material. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this
I
up.
had to say something. It's been right here in the back of my mind.
I'm glad. So I bought basketball shorts from the NBC basketball camp, and we had your nicknames, and you put them on across your butt for some reason. I had those basketball shorts. I think I might actually still have them. We're pushing like almost 30 years.
You should wear them.
I should try.
I
and
would
find
love
them.
to see it myself.
If I threw them away, it's a travesty.
Yeah. Well, now that you have kids in high school, they could wear them.
And they were pretty short too. This is like right before the long shorts are
Oh, they
coming out.
came back in then.
So now they're back in. I could totally wheel them back up. Oh yeah, I got about
Before Chris Webber days.
8 inches, a white thigh I can show off. Yeah.
That's all right.
It's back.
Hey, it's back. some of the other coaches, might like that.
I asked one of the players today if they had borrowed their mom's shorts for practice today.
I saw a kid the other day walking around with short shorts. I'm thinking, damn, that reminds me of like what it must have been like in the 80s or something.
70s. I think 70s when I see it. Yeah. Yeah, I see it. My own kid comes home like,
oh yeah,
where's the shorts at? Oh,
yeah.
what's on?
What happened to the bottoms?
Here. What's that?
What happened? I said, what happened to the bottoms?
Yeah, they're all like, what happened? What do you mean, Dad? It's the style. I'm all. Doesn't mean it looks good.
We're talking like 4-inch
style,
inseams.
Yeah.
It's
It doesn't mean it looks
odd.
good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Take many pictures. The internet is forever.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do it like that. It's all up here.
And me
and him both know. He never hears the end of it.
Well, the worst part is I could never get away with wearing those. Just my big old fat legs showing white thighs. I already got white legs. Yep. Look at these puppies.
He's been coaching for months.
Yeah, I've been out in the sun. Well, I've been out in the sun like 4 days at the highest, the peak of like
sun.
Getting tan. This is a secret. I'm going to tell you guys. Mrs. Thompson bought me some of that spray. And I was thinking maybe I might get tan with some of this tanning spray.
Try baby oil.
Dude, they're still translucent.
No, I know. You can
I
see
can
my
actually
veins.
see through
you
them.
can see my veins. That's how bad they are. It's a little embarrassing, especially the first time you put on shorts for the year, because they've been hibernating all winter. And come May, you put on your shorts. And we go on a vacation early June together, and that might be one of the first times they come out. And Fred is quick to remind me that my legs are not tan.
I think it was the first day of football practice when I yelled across the field, like, "Oh, put your sunglasses on."
Poor kids.
I can't see.
Poor kids.
I have mad tan lines just from the first game that we did. Not just here, but there's a very fine, easily seeable tan line on the back of my legs with the calves just from where the shorts are hanging down.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that first game in Riverbank. And it was just over 100 degrees the first day we did that. And we're on top of the press box. So a canopy doesn't actually fit up there, so we're just bearing the brunt of the sun for
bacon.
Oh,
they didn't put you in a booth?
Bad. We actually prefer to be on top rather than in the booth, just because when we're swinging the camera back and forth, we're hitting parts of the framing of the windows and things like that, and we don't like to miss anything. So we actually prefer climbing up the damn ladder and get on top.
Wow.
Yeah.
We should put a ladder on ours then.
Yeah, I don't think
Well,
that's
your guys,
possible.
Ribbon Christian's a little bit different. You guys have a pure wide set window. It cranks. It's awesome. You guys are like the bar none best press box we ever been in.
There we go.
Things were cushioned
That's
out,
what I like to
carpeted.
hear.
That was unreal.
Yeah.
Usually we get on top of the press box and we wonder if we're actually going to fall off because some of them sway a little bit
Oh,
in
yeah.
the wind.
Oh, yeah.
They're creaking. They're slanted to one side.
Have a carabiner with a harness and safety rope.
The fall protection, right?
That hole you're climbing through is this big, and you barely fit through it. One arm in.
Yeah.
The next arm.
Dad, help me out. Grab my arm.
Yeah.
It's a project. My dad's getting up there too. So him climbing up ladders is no joke, and he gets up there every single weekend with me too as well. And we're handing hundreds of pounds of equipment up and down.
Yeah.
Sketchy ladders.
Expensive equipment too.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So
you're Empire. What is it? Empire Sports. What is it?
North Valley Empire.
North Valley Empire, and your dad works with you on that.
Yeah. Me and him just every weekend we just go out and we have fun with it.
You just film games.
Yep, that's what we do.
How do you decide where you go? What's your? Where do you pick? You pull out a roster and you just pick a game. I'm gonna go this. I'm gonna go MVFL 1 week, TVYFL 1 week. SenCal 1 week,
yeah,
that kind of thing?
we wait till pretty much the beginning of the season once schedules are somewhat finalized. We know they're a little bit flexible there towards the end. It's probably easier to explain what games we don't do rather than what we actually do. So games we don't like to watch are blowouts. So if we kind of have an idea of who's good, here in the 209 and who's not, we're probably not going to watch, a good versus a bad team just because we don't want to watch 50-0 blowouts 4 games in a row.
Right.
It's really hard to commentate on. It's really hard to have fun with. We'll go to what we think are going to be close games, regardless if they're good or bad. And we'll reserve probably 3 or 4 games throughout the year for teams that we haven't seen yet. So last year we watched Hillmar and Gustine. It's just teams we're probably not going to see too often for whatever reason or another, and we'll go out there, and those actually turned out to be pretty good competitive
a
games
rival
last
game
year.
right there.
Yeah. So we'll try as best we can to spot those few games. And then there's a couple that we'll absolutely try to see every year. One is Dos Palos and Los Banos out in the Central Valley.
You go south.
Oh yeah, we
Way
go
south.
Yeah, those two are pretty much the furthest south teams that we have in the 209, and we limit ourselves to just the 209. There's a bunch of guys I know in the 916, the Sacramento area, and then some in the Bay Area, and we've competed against teams like those. Where there's already over 65 teams here in the 209. We just couldn't get to everybody if we wanted to. Yeah. And then one thing that will probably, two other things. We only want to see a team once during the regular season. We try not to double up if we can.
For sure.
Try to get to as many people as we possibly can.
Yeah,
there's just too many. Like, we can't get to everybody. You get to maybe, if we're lucky, a third of everybody that's out there.
And you're just strictly youth sports, like I mean high school and under high school.
No, just youth sports. We don't even do the high school. Yeah, Friday
so
nights.
It's the 8th grade, 7th grade, and below.
Yep.
Okay.
So what is it, 12U?
14U technically in some leagues. Like I said, they'll go up to 14. Some leagues allow 15-year-olds. It kind of depends on the rules.
Riders and shit.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the age cutoff dates. Everyone's rules are a little bit different. But yeah, mostly 14U and under, all the way down to 8U. There were some years where you had some 6U that was out there as well. 5 and 6-year-olds playing tackle football in some leagues too. So we'll do that.
We got 5-year-olds in Knights.
Right?
Yeah.
So the Chiefs. Chiefs too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's really young. Like, when you say you're a parent, you think your kid's big enough to play. Now looking back at it, only a couple years out, I'm thinking, damn, my kids weren't ready to play football. That was way too young.
Most aren't. Yeah. They can barely fit the helmets and the pads. They look like bobbleheads running around. Mm-hmm. It's a project for them just to make it through.
My biggest argument with that is they're only getting hit as hard as the
kid
the same age is hitting.
Right.
It's not like a 10-year-old kid smashing into him. It's another 5-year-old kid hitting another 5-year-old kid. And they have all the protection they need.
Yep.
Right?
It's all relative. Yeah, I agree.
It's like bowling pins. They all kind of fall over. And
yeah.
There's more hurt fingers and hurt feelings than
a lot of hurt feelings.
Yeah.
By the parents.
Yeah.
More hurt feelings by the parents.
I can't get my helmet on. I can't find my mouthpiece.
What time is practice?
Yeah.
Where are we meeting at? Where's the game? What color jersey are we wearing?
Hey, Coach, what are we having for snack at halftime?
Yeah. Great question, kid. I was wondering the same. Let me call the team mom.
Ask your mom. Your mom's weak. Ask your mom.
One of my favorite memories is walking into into our team room at the Knights stadium, and I would come in right at the end of the junior novice game, and win or lose, they were always happy. They're always ecstatic. They're eating their snacks, their Gatorades.
Yes.
And I'd walk in there. I'm like, "How we do today, boys?" And half of them had no idea if they won or lost.
No, they didn't care.
No idea. I don't know. But they did remember the final game because I think they lost every single game that year until the final game. And when I walked in there, they were smiles from ear to ear. We won, Coach. We won. We won.
They all signed back up.
And then 10 minutes later, they're out wrestling in the grass. They couldn't remember if they won or lost or whatever. It's like, okay, this is true football here.
Wow. So how long have you guys been doing this? Going from school to school?
We started back in 2017, kind of by accident.
Okay.
So what was it? I think it was 2016 actually. We were part of a team. I don't know if you guys know what the Snoop Youth Football League is.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were coaching actually with the Lodi Junior Flames. They used to be part of the Lodi Junior Flames. They had recruited my family and another family, the Robertson family, to go over there and coach with that team for that new league, and in the hopes that we would bring a lot of kids, in which we did. We recruit heavily out of the Stockton area and that kind of stuff. We brought them into Lodi and competed in the Snoop League. The varsity team actually made it to, I guess, the national championship, or at least that tournament for that weekend in Southern California. So we went out there, and it was my friend's team. They were coaching up a bunch of good kids out there. They were playing a team from Texas. And there was a coach from Merced, Coach Keith, was asking me to stream it. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. I still barely know what streaming is to this day. But he said use the Periscope app. It's basically like a Twitter streaming app to stream it. So I started streaming the first Friday night set of games and things like that. and I was just getting questions from, I don't know who, random people watching this. And I was just answering their questions as they go. You know, what's the score? What's the time? What do you think of this team, that team? And then before long, I was actually commenting on the commentary through the whole game.
Live.
You're
doing this live stream.
Yeah, this was all live, just straight from my phone. I'm just holding up my phone.
Oh,
and,
no way.
Wow. Yeah. I would like phone just like this, and I'm just holding it up. And then, I get through the, most of the first game, and I look down, I'm looking at the viewer count, and I'm in the hundreds, just out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh, I have no idea who's watching this, but I have people from Colorado, from Texas, Minnesota, North Carolina,
Do they
Florida.
have like a tie to the team, like grandparents?
Yeah, a lot of them did have ties to the team. They were parents, family, friends, whatever it was. They were sharing out this link, and it just kind of took off from there.
Nice.
They started asking me if I was going to do the next day because our team had actually lost, got knocked out of the tournament to fast. We just got destroyed by Texas. It was like 56-0. It was a whole different set of kids out there. But I said, yeah, I guess we're already down here in Southern California. Might as well stay the whole weekend. Turned up Saturday. We were at what is that big stadium out there? The arena football team, Galaxy something or another.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're at the stadium there for Saturday games. We're watching San Antonio Outlaws. You guys know who that is? Friday Night Tykes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so they
they
were out there, so we got to watch like the Netflix crew out there doing their thing, and here's me, sitting up in the stands with the damn phone again. And apparently, towards the end of that weekend, Sunday, I've already done streaming all these games, battling with charging my phone and using a bunch of power banks and my hand cramping up and everything else like that because I'm just trying to hold nothing. It was just
you
off
didn't
the
get
whim,
a tripod after day one?
No, I didn't know it was going to.
I would have gone to Walmart to get something.
The Sunday
Selfie
night
stick.
Yeah. Sunday night, we ended up getting into thousands and thousands of viewers simultaneously at the same time. It was just blowing me away.
No way.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, somebody had pointed out in the stream, Snoop's on the stream. And I'm like, nah, it's not Snoop. It's somebody, making up a name or anything. That wasn't the case. It was actually Snoop.
Really?
Yeah, so anyway, he had sent down one of his guys anyway because he was doing the announcing for that game.
He was there?
Yeah, Snoop was actually there doing some of the color commentary for the game over the stadium and stuff. And he had sent one of his guys down. Exactly. Sent this big, scary guy down, to the stadium to look for, where's Matt? And so I see this, big old guy is asking for my name. I was like, I guess that's me. And he's like, after the game, come see us. And I was like, okay. I was like, so I just kept doing what I'm doing. After the game, we get invited up. I'm talking to some of his friends and things like that, and they gave me a card to go and meet him at, I guess, an after party.
Oh,
backstage passes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Snoop-a-Loop?
Yeah, it was straight out of a movie.
Snoop Deal Double G?
I promise you.
Oh, man.
It was the most surreal moment ever. He was telling us that they had lost rights to televise the actual game. They had something set up with, like, I guess, was it AOL or something at the time he had to deal with, and it had fallen through, and I was actually the only one doing anything live with it, which is probably the reason why I was capturing so many people on the live stream. So late that night, after all the finals had finished and everything, we go out to Hollywood, which is where this was at, and I shit you not. We're going out there, and
Did
there's
you have to
the
drug
address.
test on Monday?
I had work on Monday.
Monday was all I want to know, man.
We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that.
Sorry, guys, not going to make it.
Let's just say I didn't have to see if I was in the right spot. I could smell if I was in the right spot.
Yeah, probably.
But there was this weird back alley where the address sent us to in Hollywood, and it was sketchy as all hell. And there's a guy with a single rope in front of just a dark door. And I got this thing in my hand, this card, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm in the right spot, but Snoop, I guess, asked for us to come by.
Snoop sit for me?
It's big worm.
Big perm.
And so he's like, yeah,
Samson.
Yeah, sure. He says, just go right on in. So I was like, all right. So we go up this really smell like urine hallway. We go up there, and then we finally get to the top, and you just hear the music, and it's a full club, cocktail waitresses everywhere, 2 bars, and just smoke-filled everything, too. So we walk in. completely out of place. Me, my brother, my dad.
Greetings.
Hey sir.
How's it going?
I don't know if I'm in the right spot, but
Wonderful evening we're having.
So we walk in and we see all the different coaches from the Snoop League there, all the administrators, all that stuff. They were all just having a good time, drinking it up and whatnot. And Snoop is up there at the DJ booth DJing the whole thing. And so we're like, wow. So we're talking to a few, people there, and they really like the stream. Got a chance to talk with Snoop for like a half second, and his other guy says you need to come out and do our Bay versus LA tournament that they're having in a couple weeks. So they take all of the All-Stars from LA and they go compete against all the Bay Area All-Stars is the next game. So started working with Snoop League after that. So we did not only that All-Star game, we started doing a bunch of Snoop League stuff that following year too as well, which I just started upgrading my stuff. Tripod comes in, extra batteries, all that other stuff. I finally used a camcorder for the first time. Not anymore, but
Did you buy your dad a backpack?
Duffel bag, brand new duffel bag.
So we just started doing that.
Do you still have the card?
No, I don't. I don't. Right? That's a fail, right? I have old pictures and stuff where I used to bring the kids out to the games and stuff just to help me like load in and load out all the stuff and say, hey, if you come with me, I'll let you meet Snoop.
Yeah.
They obviously think I'm full of shit.
Yeah.
And then when they get out there midfield, they're like, holy shit, that's Snoop Dogg. By the way, he's pretty tall. He's like 6'3", 6'4". He's a big dude. Yeah. And he's
skinny like myself.
Oh, he's crazy skinny, but
just like us.
Like the opposite of you.
He's a really cool guy, though. Really down to earth, actually. And it kind of seems like a show that he puts on, at least for what I know from him in person. And he loves the hell out of those kids. He has time for everybody that comes up to him. Any kid that wants to get an autograph, talk to him, anything. I mean, he spends a ton of time before and after games talking to all the kids. Yeah, he's actually really, really good dude.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is this still going?
His Snoop League stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, kind of. I'm not sure. I kind of got out of it after about 2 or 3 years. There was just, ultra competitive leagues, but a lot of fighting and stuff like that.
His kids are now in high school and college.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
his kid's already in and out of college.
He might be out of the Snoop League. I mean, it might still be going on, but he might have separated himself. His time is, you know what I mean?
So you think he did it just while his kids were going through it?
Imagine.
Well, he was doing it even when one of his kids were in college, and he was still doing it. And he was actually offensive coordinator for the 12U team. Yeah, at the time. Really? Yeah. And I mean, his kids were ballers. I mean,
run a half
super
dizzle.
No, he actually knows his stuff.
Does he?
Yeah, he's like I said, you wouldn't know just by the outside persona that puts on, but he actually knows football. At least at the youth level and stuff. He learned a little bit from some of the coaches around there, and he's just started calling plays. He got into it. He sets up plays like everybody else, counters, reverses, halfback passes, anything like that, and he puts kids in the right spot. Running backs where running backs should be. Linemen that obviously supposed to be linemen are playing. So, yeah, he's not bad. He's not a bad coach.
Wonder how he handles parents though when they tell you that.
Who's gonna tell him anything? Though? I doubt
my kid's not getting the playing time he needs to be getting.
I doubt anyone's come to him with any complaints. I think he has that privilege where no one's gonna come up to him and challenge him like every other coach has to experience parents. But
I don't know if
him.
you know, but the league is named after me.
Yeah.
Or he could do like what all of us do. Like you got to talk to the team mom.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. Talk to the team.
Do you think there's a minimum play rule in his league? Minimum plays?
There was.
Was there really?
Yeah,
Really?
there was. But they
Wow.
limited the roster sizes really small down to I think it was under 30. You couldn't even have more than 30 kids.
I like that.
Yeah, for that reason too.
Yeah.
So they had a minimum play rule of 8 plays or something like that. But they capped. All the teams were pretty much encouraged to cap at about 30.
I would like
Some
30,
even capped
30
further
studs
down.
too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right?
I'd like 30 studs as well. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
just keep it at 30 studs.
Yeah.
It's like an all-star team.
Well, you were talking about some of the kids that you saw that were 10, 11, 12 years old, over 200 pounds, that kind of stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a starting offensive line year in and year out. That was up and down the Pomona Steelers that he was running over there. Yeah, they all look like that.
So he could
They're
have
dynamite.
cuts if he probably has cuts.
Oh,
I'm assuming.
I can't imagine him not
He
having
probably
cuts,
has a
yeah.
line of people trying to.
Oh, I'm
sign
sure.
up.
Yeah, definitely too. And
I would try out.
It might have been. I don't know if he had tryouts because
And I'm only 15.
he had a good group of kids, but I doubt he cut because there were some kids where you're like, if there was actually legitimate tryouts, they wouldn't have made it. But I think it might have been a little bit more first come, first serve, with about 5 to 10 kind of reserved for some of their boys that they had that they knew they were going to be playing.
That was
So-
probably a family member's son or something.
Yeah, probably. I would think so. Yeah.
Bring him out.
His manager's kid.
Yeah.
So no, but
So then
It
what
was
brought
cool.
you into the Central Valley, doing it in the Central Valley?
well, I mean, we started traveling so much, it was just too hard to keep up with. I mean, they were inviting us out to Vegas and Arizona and all this stuff, and it's just like I work a normal, 9 to 5 job. It's like I can't get out there. This is not paying, bills or anything like that. So I
from
decided
August
just limit.
to November, you're traveling like crazy.
Yeah. So I was just like, I'm gonna go ahead and limit it just to the 209.
Yeah.
Even like as much as I like some of the Sacramento teams and Bay Area teams, I just couldn't do it. So it's already 2 hours in one particular direction to get to Dos Palos or Los Banos. So
And you live where?
Stockton.
Stockton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lodi and Stockton areas where I've been bouncing around, but mostly Stockton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you've been doing it for how many years? You said again?
At least 5 years.
And you do
just the streaming side of it. Yeah.
You do every single week. Like you don't take a week off.
No. Once the wife knows now. Once that first weekend hits, and even before that, scrimmages and stuff that go on right before Jamboree, I'm booked all the way every single weekend. Sometimes not just a Saturday, but sometimes we'll capture a Sunday game too as well. During the week, there might be a scrimmage we'll get wind of.
Really?
A couple Stockton teams that are from different leagues. They're rivals. They used to be in same leagues. They come and they scrimmage each other. We'll go video those games too as well. We did a Chavez Titans, NorCal Gladiators scrimmage that was before the season started. So we'll go capture whatever's out there, and people feed us all the time, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Hey, you guys should come see us. You guys should come see us. So
I see you guys get blown up like looks like kids because you guys.
oh, it's mostly kids for sure. Well,
you're
the
doing
kids
live
are the
feeds.
loudest.
Yeah.
You're doing live feeds.
Yeah.
And I watch the podcast on YouTube, but I'll see like kids from Ripon. My friends'
your kids, yeah.
Not my kids, but my friends' kids. I'll be going through it, and I'm like, freaking kid, screenshot it, send it to his dad. Like, like, hey, how's Ripon going? You like Ripon? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I see all that stuff. But
I always try to stay really positive, no matter what team I'm talking about. I guess the main goal for us is, especially during live stuff, we try to be as positive as possible. Right, we don't try to knock any teams or anything like that, because you don't know the situation sometimes. If they're a brand new franchise or anything like that, you don't want to give out bad publicity, stomp down a team.
Do you have a favorite not organization, a favorite division, favorite league?
Oh, favorite league, like
SenCal.
TVYFL. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
You have a favorite league to go? When you guys see the game
It's
on
tough.
the calendar, like, oh yeah, I'm going.
that's a question that I see quite a bit come up on the live.
So
Dude,
there are certain games that we absolutely love watching. If there's anything between the St. Mary's Junior Rams and Northwest Trojans, we went to go see that scrimmage. Like, we have to go see them play each other. It's a rivalry. Those kids go to school with each other. They go to school with each other, against each other, pretty much their whole lives. So it's a nice, healthy rivalry in that area. We like to go see Oakdale Stampede. Just the vibe that you get when you walk into those games, especially if it's at Oakdale, that's a whole different beast by itself. Very traditional stuff. One town, one team, and they're very, very protective and proud of that one team, one town
Is
stuff.
Oakdale pulling from like Jamestown and Knights Ferry and that area?
We've
or-
seen them pull all the way out through Modesto.
Oh, really?
Like, they fill out pretty much right when
Every
they
level.
open up. They fill out pretty much within the week.
Every level.
Really?
Yeah. They fill out quicker than I've seen any other team fill out. It just everyone comes out for it. So
Do they have coaches that, like, say, like an Oakdale team? Do they have coaches like, I'm the junior novice coach. I don't have any kids in the junior novice system, but I'm the junior novice coach. I've been the junior novice coach for the last 10 years.
typically, yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, I mean, the staff, particularly in SinCal in particular, for whatever reason, their coaching staffs are averaging, if you're just talking about head coaches, sometimes over 40 years combined coaching experience.
Really?
Yeah, up and down. It's that's why I think SinCal is really competitive, is because there's no skin in the game. The dad ball kind of stuff
Right.
tends to stay away from SinCal because they've just been doing it for a long time. Some of these coaches like particular levels, whether it's varsity or the novice or junior novice or 8U, 10U, whatever it might be. They like doing those levels, and they've been doing it for a long time. So,
because I notice I've only been a part of the Knights for a few years, but I noticed that the dads will tend to coach their kids, right? And they move with Eli. You kind of did this, right? Fred, you kind of did this. You kind of move with your kids as they progress.
Yep.
And then a whole new set of dads come in. Are you guys like, hey, this is what we did last year. This was our plan. Are you guys helping out the next guy, or are you guys just moving on?
I know my experience, I'm willing to help anyone out. Now, when you see you have new guys come in, a lot of new guys come in, they have their own mindset, their own agenda. I'm willing to help you out. I've had this experience with this team. I've had this experience with this team. I know this, they're going to run this or I'll help you out. But sometimes they don't really want your help. They're going to, and I get it. I don't think when I was junior novice or whatever it was 20 years ago, I probably didn't want anybody else's help either.
That's
I
pretty normal with new coaches come in. They have an idea of the plays they want to run, the schemes they want to run, and how everything is going to go. And then reality kind of sets in after the first couple of weeks where, communicating to whatever age group they're communicating with, they have to start tailoring
and
things
all of a sudden
back.
Little Jimmy cries a lot.
Yeah, or they have to deal with parents and those kinds of things. So they never even considered talking with parents or dealing with parents. And SinCal has a good habit of taking these older veteran coaches and mentoring some of the new dads that are coming in to backfill and just provide to that culture that they have in SinCal that's really strong. I mean, as you can tell, those guys don't have kids in the game. They've been doing it for a long time, 10 plus years. I mean, there's coaches that put me to shame. They're like 20 plus years varsity or JV, and they mentor all the new coaches coming in, let them know how, the reality of coaching youth football is not all sunshine and rainbows.
No.
So Oakdale's in which league? You said
SinCal.
So who else is in that league?
Turlock
Stockton.
Pride. No, it's
Bears?
mostly Modesto
Are the
area.
Bears still out?
Merced Bears.
Okay.
They're out there. Merced Cougars. Turlock Bulldogs. Atwater Falcons.
The Falcons?
something-
Okay.
Oh, so Oakdale's kind of the northern team.
Yeah.
And they're kind of going.
Yeah, they go a little bit more
They
south.
don't go.
Yeah.
They don't go east up towards any of those mountain teams. They got
I
their
think-
own. They come mountain.
Yeah, that's Motherlode. That's
Motherlode,
the Motherlode.
yeah,
Yeah,
Motherlode.
That's where the
Motherlode.
Chiefs play.
That's Ripon
No,
Chiefs. Yeah,
the
that's
NBFL,
Ripon Chiefs.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So the Stockton teams, what are they in now? Are they the Delta?
There's a mixture of that. Most of them are Delta.
Delta.
Yeah, Delta Youth Football League. Most
Okay.
of the Stockton teams go there. The St. Mary's Junior Rams, they're in the Sierra Athletic Conference. That's playing a lot of the Sacramento teams.
Yep.
So they're like the furthest south in that league.
Okay.
Pretty competitive team.
Real
from Stockton.
competitive.
Yeah,
The
usually.
Junior Tigers.
Yeah, I got a lot of heat
Yeah.
for ranking them 25 last year. They were not happy with
Really?
me at all.
So
and
they
I know
prove you
those
wrong?
guys
So
too.
you're
as
ranking,
well.
you're ranking youth football?
Yeah, so
I got to get on board. I'm
Okay,
ashamed
so
to say I don't even follow you, but
No,
I'm going to
it's
start following
fine.
you now.
You got to
No,
listen
it's
to
cool.
their
And I'm
year-end
gonna-
podcast.
I'm going to
Pretty
start talking
good.
some
it's
shit,
a,
too. Just
it's
so you know.
a shit starter for
Oh,
sure.
I'll be
yeah.
with the kids on YouTube talking to you.
I was
live
pissed.
streaming.
So the
Do you like Ripon?
Eli. Do you like Ripon?
yeah, watch our end of the year podcast and you'll find
It's
out.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
The one misconception that a lot of people have about the rankings, and this is different because you see a lot of people throw out rankings, hey, this is top 5, top 10, top 15, top 25, and it's all subjective. It's whoever's sending in the film, it's whoever's been feeding them, hey, this team's good, that team's good. And it's not to say that they're bad or good or anything, but it's all subjective rankings. The difference with the Empire rankings is I actually built an mathematic algorithm that takes all the wins, losses, Super Bowl championships, undefeated teams. There's probably about 12 different metrics that we compare all 60 plus teams in the 209, and it just spits out basically a power ranking number at the end. And the only subjective part of it that we have is league strength.
Right.
And so that typically ruffles people's feathers because we have to unfortunately figure out who's the strongest particular league at that point. So for Trans Valley Youth, we actually separated it into 2 different leagues.
Yeah.
So you have the Atlantic and the Pacific.
I'm glad you guys did that because that was a good.
That was a good call out because even Delta Youth Football League
did
has
that
trouble
help
with their
your-
North
did that
and
help
South
your ranking?
division.
Well, it's a big difference. There's a big difference between the South and the
Did you
North.
message him directly?
I did. Yeah. Appreciate that. Thank you.
By the way, I don't know if Fred wants me to say this.
What? Okay.
I don't know if Fred wants me to tell you this, but Fred is the president of the Ripon Knights. So just getting that out there, just airing that out.
Do you know about the rankings at all?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
is this
I
first
listened
time?
to your podcast at the end of the year last year. Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, so now I gotta start talking with a different light here.
The Lost podcast, Anthony was supposed to go on there and
he did.
and talk a little.
He says
like,
no one believes him now, but
yeah, I know.
I felt super bad. Yeah, we've
No.
been kind of chatting back and forth. He did an excellent job. That was our favorite podcast, too.
Yeah.
That was the most tragic part about that is even with when we did the podcast with the SinCal commissioner, exactly. And then, we had a representative from the Delta Youth Football League, and we were just figuring this virtual podcast stuff out, and that one just failed.
What did he say that was so good? What did Anthony say?
He spoke really highly of TVYFL, Rip and Christian. The fact that we had ranked them kind of lower the previous year, and then they finally recaptured a little bit higher ranking in the later years. Some of that was a motivating factor, I guess, for him. We talk about offenses, defenses. What do you feel about weight limits? What do you feel about age groupings, competing outside the league, exhibition games, just a ton of different topics. Really, we only go in, I asked whoever the interviewee is, what do you want to talk about? Give me 3 things that you absolutely must talk about.
Right.
And then we go, that's the only 3 things we go in, and an hour later we could be off on a bunch of different tangents and stuff like that. So
you used to coach then?
Yeah.
Who'd you coach for?
Oh, it depends on which year. So I
You got a
actually
beef with them?
No. I'm curious. I'm curious. They're talking offense and defense and breaking it down. That's what I'm just asking.
So me, I have a twin brother, Coach Mike, and then my dad, Coach Ralph. We all coached together for quite some time. But me and Coach Mike, we actually started coaching when we were in high school. We were 15, 16 years old. We started coaching the little guys, I guess novice. They were, I guess it was 9U at the time. We coached for a couple years there.
What
that was Lodi Bobcats. Back in the day.
So you grew up in Lodi?
Yeah,
I grew up in Lodi as well.
Yeah. Lodi.
Yeah.
So we did Lodi Bobcats for a couple years. I mean, I played football for quite
Were
a
you
while
a
too
Flame?
as well. No.
You weren't
No.
a
Well, we
Flame?
did coach the Flames.
Were
but
you a Tiger?
I was a Tiger.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey,
Well, were you a Flame then? Is that what it's? Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
No, because
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you.
Can we back this
Hold
up?
on. I want to ask him first. You don't have any sisters about Eli's age, do you?
I hope not.
Okay.
No, this would
Just
be a
checking.
very different conversation
Okay.
maybe if that was the case.
Maybe that was talking off air.
I was going to say, I appreciate the fact that you refer to your brother as Coach Mike and your dad,
Coach Ralph.
Coach Ralph.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, just instead of dad and bro or whatever. Yeah, no,
It's Coach Mike.
for me, like coach is a very big term of endearment. I think. I think it's like if you're a teacher, professor, almost. I mean, that would piss
Doctor.
off a lot of doctors, but I mean the way
ranking in the military.
Sure, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Colonel?
the way it is
Coach?
nowadays, because when I first started coaching, even at that young age, 75% of the kids we had, 2-parent household, easy to coach. As the years have gone on, all the way till now, it's kind of flipped. You only get maybe a quarter of your kids that I've experienced that had a 2-parent household. So you became more than just somebody coaching
two
offense.
parents that showed up.
Yeah. Like it's a whole nother ball game. It's a lot of extra work. You're teaching kids way more about life skills than you are about football at that point.
Yeah.
So when I say coach, that really is a term of endearment because it is a lot of extra work that people don't see. I mean, it's not just showing up 2 hours of practice a night and that's it. You get to go home.
Right.
There's hours before that. There's hours after that. There's the weekends are pretty much completely consumed. You're doing film study, making practice plans, working with kids outside of school if that's what you're doing, trying to keep them their grades eligible, keep them out of trouble. You guys, we were kind of joking about picking kids out of Empire. We did the same thing. We were picking kids out of particular neighborhoods in Stockton. Making sure, I mean, these are kids that maybe had a couple T-shirts and shorts, and that's all they had to their name. Right. We had to make sure they were fed, all those things. So you're paying their whole way, then you become broke at the end of the year. So all those things.
That's good though that there's coaches like you that know that that's what's happening because, like you said, sometimes coaches will just be coach from 6 to 8. But when you're a coach, and you take that seriously, and you might be the only male figure that they have in their lives and they look up to you.
Yep, that's
and
very
you gotta
common.
take that serious.
You do.
So.
You have a huge influence. This past Saturday night, we were at a restaurant it's called BJ's Restaurant in Stockton, and one of the bus boys came up to me and called me coach. And so that's obviously light bulb goes off. This is somebody I know. I looked at him. It was Chris. I coached him when we had a spring. North Valley Empire started out originally as a spring football program, tackle football program. And he was one of our running backs that year. And he's got glowing remarks for us the whole way through, saying how big of an impact you guys had on us. I use everything you guys taught me, even now, even outside of football. Some of the greatest compliments that you just love to hear, because as coaches, you go in, you're just hoping you're kind of doing saying the right things. I mean, we're all human. We're all trying to just make it work. But those are some of the compliments that I look forward to all the time. So, and we got kids that are. Our last podcast at the Lodi Bobcats podcast, our 2005 team we were coaching, it was a standout year for us, undefeated, blow a bunch of teams out, whole lot of fun. But those kids are now having kids of their own, and they still talk about that Super Bowl and that year very fondly. Those friends, they're lifelong friends. They still talk to each other outside, and those are the things we like to hear.
Yeah. Well, Fred had a cool experience this year, right? You coached. I don't mean to put you on the spot. No.
Which time?
No. So last year, Coach Fred coached the varsity team at the Knights.
Yeah.
And this year there was a game between Ripon High School, Thursday night freshman game, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Between the East Union and Ripon.
Ripon High. Yeah.
And go ahead and finish that, but.
I actually didn't go to the game.
But you saw the picture. You know what I'm talking about.
I got a picture sent to me of, I think, 14 kids from our team last year. I think 5 of them from East Union, and the other one's from Ripon High. All together.
But in Ripon
all
Christian.
arms around each other. Oh, yeah, and all the
go.
RC kids, because RC doesn't have a freshman team.
Right.
That's what it was, yeah. So there's a whole slew of RC kids that were there too, in street clothes, or they had like mock jerseys of their buddies on the on the field. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So there's a whole slew of kids there, all arm in arm, over their shoulders and taking a picture at the end of the game. It was really cool.
That's the delayed gratification that I look forward to every time. It's those interactions I had at the restaurant, all those things. That's why I like to coach. There's a video that I posted early in the year, Dabo Sweeney talking about legacy. When you're coaching, you have to be in it for the right reasons, right? It's not about the championships. It's not about the trophies, the wins. Are those kids going to come back to you when they're 30 years old and have figured out life, and how do they think of that coach?
Right.
Did they think, oh, he was full of, whatnot.
Right.
He was just in it for the wins. He didn't care if I was doing the right things or not, as long as they won games. Is that how they're going to think of you? Or, man, he was really tough on me. He was, a tough SOB. He never cut me any slack, but he was doing the right thing for me. He was steering me in the right path, right? So I think that's the deciding moment for a lot of kids when they finally figured out life, that's how they'll remember the coaches, right? So
we've talked about that before, Eli, remember?
Many
where
times.
you've had situations where kids come up to you and talk to you. And I'm only a second-year coach, so I'm waiting for that
I'm like
moment.
you. I've been doing it 20 years now, so same thing. I mean, I have kids. My gratification, I'm just speaking out of line here, is my gratification, you see him at a bar, and one of my son's friends...
It makes you feel horrible if you see him at a bar, though.
I do. I have kids that are 27, 26, sons.
Yeah.
My daughter's 29. Well, they're buying me beers. Hey, coach, remember this game? Hey, coach. I'm like, fuck. I mean, I'm like, fuck, am I that old? But I know I am, but still it's a gratification because you're still calling me coach.
Right.
And they shake your hand, coach.
Yes.
Hell, I saw a kid today. Where's I at? Oh, I was at a Dollar General. Some kids were after school in there, and I walk in, and I coached 2 years ago junior novice at the Chiefs. Yeah. And some kid who I barely remembered. Coach, how you doing? And I look. Just his eyes. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
It's the little guys that you're like.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I haven't seen the kid in 2 years. We still remember me. So that's what's important. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm not getting a stipend.
No.
I mean, you've turned it into some sort of a career or a good hobby.
It's a hobby. It definitely is a hobby. Yeah.
But most of it's just coaching, and you're doing it for the end for the kids, for the kids.
Absolutely.
You start out maybe because you have a kid involved, but it turns into all the other kids that and then hey. When it's 10, 15 years later, they're hanging out, they are high-fiving you, that's a good thing,
Yeah, that's the biggest compliment, right? That means, hey, I was doing it right then. Hopefully I'm still doing it right now, those kinds of things, yeah. So we did it for a lot of years.
So how did you pick this week's game, this past week?
We try to balance between or at least I was trying to balance how many of each league we would see. And this weekend just happened to be a Delta Youth Football League game.
Can I ask who was this week's game?
This past weekend was Delta Youth Football. This was the North Stockton Bengals versus they call them the Stockton Junior Jackets, but it's basically the Franklin High School Stockton area feeder team.
And this is who had the home field advantage here? Where was the game
This was North Stockton Bengals.
Okay,
not that bad. Not that bad.
Okay.
And I know exactly what you're getting at too. There are some areas, whether you're South Side or East Side or whatever, and then it kind of changes your approach to the game.
For sure.
Right. But yeah, we chose to go them. We knew it was going to be close games. We were right. I think all games were within at least 2 touchdowns of each other. So there were no blowouts across the board. 2 of the 4 games ended up with a less than 7-point difference coming out. I wouldn't say they're the best teams in the Delta Youth Football League, but it was definitely entertaining the whole way through. And they play each other real tough. It's kind of like an unwritten rivalry that they have there. They know every time they play each other, they're going to get the best out of each other every time. So
is Delta still? Is it Pittsburgh, Antioch?
No.
Delta?
That's kind of DISA. That was old DISA.
Yes.
But that kind of DISA's been kind of splitting off. They went on the other side of the Altamont. They kept the Antioch, Brentwood, all that stuff.
So where are the Junior Flames and then Galt and the Tigers? Where are they at now?
He just did a Flames one.
Lodi Colts.
The Junior Flames, Lodi Colts are Delta Youth Football League. Junior Flames are in the Central Valley Youth Football and Cheer. That's Tracy Bucks, Manteca Cowboys, Manteca Junior Buffaloes, a couple of new teams that have entered, Central Valley Lions, NorCal Gladiators. Handful of teams, Stockton, Lodi, Manteca area for them. And then a couple outsiders. They just picked up Lathrop Junior Spartans that used to be Delta Youth Football League. So there's a lot of moving around too. That makes ranking, the strengths of the leagues much more difficult. So what helps us, and the reason why we kind of feel a little more entitled to that opinion as far as determining a league strength, is because we go and see every single league.
Right.
Every coach will go out and see probably their team and 11 or 12 others. And we think that's cute because we see about 40 plus teams every year from across it. So there's no one that's going to get a better sample size than what we see. And we say we want to be proven wrong. Like if you think one league is stronger than we want to be proven wrong. Kind of the hope at the end of this year was to put on that end of the year league across league tournament, right? Where that's the only way to really prove it, right? Is on the field. So we wanted to try to get that opportunity out there. It's probably not going to pan out this year, but maybe in the future. We'll see.
No, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, SinCal was on board with it. A lot of people in the Delta League were on board with it. There was a ton of teams that are really on board with it and want to do it. Everyone struggles with the rules because everyone has a little bit different age limits, weight limits, stuff.
DICE has the older lighters,
right,
shit like that.
But I think a lot of people put too much stock in how much of a difference that actually makes. It does make a difference, don't get me wrong, but it's not that big a difference. It really isn't. Like I've seen 11U teams beat down 12U teams, right? And it really does boil down to how well they're coached. How well do they execute the kind of game plan they come in with. Size and speed matter for a lot of the regular season, but once you get into postseason, you start playing teams for the second and third time, it gets real tough. Because now you got film and who's better prepared coming in. So we see a lot of upsets in the postseason too. So we just want to see league against other league. That'd be great. Because they talk so much trash online. I've been around the Facebook world and the Instagram universe and all that other stuff, and everyone's talking trash, but no one wants to put up or shut up.
Right. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the proposal you tossed out?
No.
No?
No.
All right. So
you can't just leave it like that, though. You don't have to commit to it.
We'll tell you at the break. So we should feel pretty honored that you came to Ripon Night Central week 3, I think it was.
Yeah, we
Our week 3, yeah.
Your week 3, yeah, because everyone kind of starts at a different time too, so I get confused.
It was most people's week 2.
Which was you came week 3 last year too. Watched the same. We played them week 3 last year.
Yeah. That's why we came back.
Yeah.
I mean, the atmosphere
that and the booth.
Yeah, we weren't up in that booth.
Oh,
we
you
were all
weren't?
the way on top last time, so we had no idea
got
about
on
this
the
middle
top?
level. Yeah, we were all the way up on top the first time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like sniper.
Oh, it's great.
Oswald.
It's great. It's great from a
Oswald.
camera perspective. It's great, but we had no idea about the
There's
middle
no
level
power
until
up
this year. When I say we lug 100 pounds of
Hold on,
equipment,
you were on
including
the top?
generators. Yeah.
I thought you were in the stands at first.
Okay, we do.
And
We
then
have
they
done
said
games
that
in the
you
stands.
could-
When we were first getting started,
Yeah.
you barely know enough people to get up into the press box
Mm-hmm.
stuff. We would pop up a canopy and the tripod and everything right in the stands, and we would just shoot from
Just
there.
be like
Yeah.
a parent.
We captured a lot of fun stuff. Parents did not know that they
Yeah,
were
like,
on the
what's going
stream,
on?
but they were on the stream.
So now you got like a suite because they got like a
It was
legit
surreal.
suite.
Yeah, it's a suite.
Yeah.
Like no lie, like it was crazy. We walked in and me and my dad were like, "Holy cow!"
Hold on, were you in the one with all the leather chairs and the?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
the
saying. There's a
TV.
flat screen TV
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, this
yeah.
is wild. I was
Yeah.
like, this is better than some high school state.
That's,
like legitimate
yeah.
high schools don't even have that.
So they actually auction that off. So like they'll do fundraisers during the season or
Oh,
off
yeah?
season, and at the fundraisers they'll auction that off. You can buy it for a game, 2 games, whatever.
That's a cool fundraiser.
And I think
that's a
they're
good
gonna, I think
fundraiser.
on that flat screen, I think they have the end zone cam
Do they?
hooked to it.
I'm actually sitting
Yeah.
there next home game
Oh, yeah?
with Windorski.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I got to go watch his boy play.
Yeah, there
So
we
you're
go.
gonna hear me do a couple. Oh no, I won't
You're
be
not
there.
gonna be there.
I got Morgan Wallen.
Dude.
Are you gonna do it?
I got a coach, bro.
Okay, so I'll just let you hear it now. Touchdown Knights. It's not very impressive.
Well, I'll offer. Can I commentate that game?
You can't commentate it, but you might be able to announce it.
I can announce it.
Oh, so yeah, and
Can't say
announcing
any
and
F words.
commentating is
Yeah, no,
two
no,
very
it's- yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
things.
Well, I kind of do both at the same time.
You can't.
No.
You
No,
can't.
you can't.
You
No.
actually can't.
You're not supposed
it's
to,
against
yeah.
the rules too. You're not actually allowed to announce after the ready for play whistle.
Yeah.
You can't play music. You can't speak. And a lot of announcers actually don't know that too. So we've been
Oh,
around everywhere,
yeah.
and there are some fantastic announcers. There's some funny announcers out there too as well. And then there's volunteers that just don't know the rules, and then the ref is trying to like give them the evil eye and
Yeah.
like shut up
Oh, yeah.
between snap.
There was, I don't remember where it was at, but there was the guy, somebody in our league got flagged twice for the announcer. I think week 1
Yeah.
for just because he kept just talking and talking and talking.
Yeah, you can't do it
Yeah,
play by
that
play as
happens
the play's
Basically
going.
giving
Houston
play
a
by
lot.
play.
Yeah.
Houston
Yeah.
used to do that a lot to us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the guy at Houston, it was like a live auction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We just played the Raiders, dude, and they had like feedback going on during the plays.
Oh God.
It was so bad. And it sounded like the guy ate the microphone, and it was like, it was like just reverb, full on. Like, what is happening? Like, we can't just turn this down just a little. So my wife marched herself all up there and said, "Turn the gain down." But she asked me
She
first.
turned the gain down.
No, she told them to
Yeah.
turn. So she's like, "Hey, what should I tell them?" I said, "Turn the gain down. That's all you got to do. In the channel that goes over to our speakers, turn the gain down." And so she walked up there, told them. Didn't
And they did
work.
it?
Do it? No.
Didn't work.
Did it
Didn't
again.
work.
Somebody else did it. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, and it was, of course, it's Raiders.
Oh God. The most annoying chant.
Patterson does that too.
It's
Ravens. And you're like, come on, bro. We're up by 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop, please.
Your first stringers scored on our third stringers
Yeah.
with 2 minutes to go in the
Yes.
fourth quarter. We're up by 50.
But
Like,
come on, man.
But I do have to tell you, they beat us, and we just came out flat. They
the
beat
12U
us.
level or
No.
novice.
I'm the novice.
Oh,
You're
okay.
like
Yeah,
10, right?
no.
9 10s, right?
9-10.
okay.
Yeah.
And
The reason I say 12U's typically their 12U level for whatever reason is probably their most like at least consistent level for whatever reason since the years I've been doing it. The Patterson JV team.
consistent.
Oh, no. We're talking about the Modesto Raiders.
Oh, Modesto
yeah.
Raiders.
Yeah, which I think is a new.
Yeah, they're
in-
technically new,
Yeah.
but they've been around for a while.
Been around
They
a
actually,
long time.
They used to be the Central Valley Jets of the Snoop Youth Football League.
Okay.
That group of people kind of bounced around a little bit,
Yeah.
for reasons, and then just ended up, and they're completely different this year. I will say that when I saw them against the Central Valley Outlaws, Modesto Raiders, completely different franchise than historical. So yeah, they're a good team to watch.
So the junior novice, I think, went 43-0 Knights. Then we got beat. Then the JV beat them. I think they might have scored 6. And then the varsity shut them out.
Yeah, that 10U running back for the Raiders, he's legit.
Yeah,
he's good.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. You know now. You know now.
But I really think
you could have seen the game film. You know that, right? On North Valley Empire Channel, you could have.
No, I bought it.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no, I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
We even send somebody out every single week to film.
Good.
I remember that one day when you were doing the Knights in Central, that kid from the Ravens tried to sneak in. I had to tell him, hey, bro.
I figured that was the case. Me and my dad were chuckling about that, thinking, I don't think he was supposed to be up
So
here.
some kid walks up into the booth. He's going to set shop up right next to him. He's like, I'm like, who are you? He's like, I'm with the Ravens. I'm like, out of here. Go sit in the heat, bro.
Yeah,
you don't need to sit with these
In the
guys.
corner stand. Sorry.
I had to kick him out. But I really think that maybe the Raiders watched our film.
I think so.
Maybe they bought the $4.99. Let me plug it. The North Valley Empire $4.99 subscription month. You see all kinds of cool perks.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it because I got to break down my own film. Like, I'm sure we're probably going to see Central again. Whatever. But they probably broke down us and they coached up their team.
And that's
they
the
did
way
a
it
good
should
job.
be.
But you did a good job breaking us down.
Did I?
Oh, yeah.
I always wonder. I never get feedback from the coaches because we're just kind of like spitballing.
Yeah.
Really, we don't even have a conversation beforehand. We watch maybe the film one time before. Coach Mike will pick out a few things. I'll pick out a few things. Coach Ralph will pick out a few things. And we'll just start talking, as the podcast is going, breaking down the film. And I'll stop and rewind. We'll slow-mo things.
So you guys pre-watch it, then sit down and watch it together?
Maybe we pre-watch it a little bit. I know I pre-watch it a little bit, but for the most part, I see these games probably 30 times over till I'm sick. Because when you're editing, you're seeing the same play 30 times from frame to frame. So I know a lot of teams inside and out, at least from just a video perspective from the teams that I've watched. So I watch it a lot. I see a lot of things out there all the time. But, yeah, we have fun with it. I think Coach Mike maybe – but he's a good coach too, but he watches it maybe one time, and he already knows what he's going to talk about. Same thing with Coach Ralph. He'll watch it one time. I know what I'm going to be talking about. I can point it out 6-7 different times, as it goes throughout the game and stuff. And we try not to hammer too much. We usually go after the technique, not so much scheme. Like, we could care less about scheme.
Right.
Everyone's got their thing they like to do, and we're all for that. We like to see the variety out there, see cool little twists and wrinkles that people do with their offenses and stuff. But we usually go after like the basics, fundamentals, and techniques and how to fix certain things and just point out, hey, if you don't know you're doing this wrong, you should probably know now you're probably doing this wrong, and this is why you're having fumbled snaps or bad handoffs or fumbleitis or whatever it might be, just the basic stuff, and try to coach up, or at least kind of talk about techniques that could fix it real quick.
Well, he even said, this must be a new center, and a quarterback that haven't really played together a whole lot. Yeah. And sure enough, in our game, Friday night, the mom texted me, hey, my son just had we took him to the doctor today. He had they diagnosed him with a concussion, so we had to get a new center and put a whole new center in. And he even said it during the game. I think this might be a center and a quarterback who haven't worked together very well, because we probably had 10 dropped snaps at least.
Yeah.
And so he called it out. He saw it. And so we had to rearrange some things and put a new center in. Another kid that's never played center before, and he just.
I think that's what tipped us off, right? Because you can see coaches trying to make. We like watching the chess match as much as the game on the field, but we pay attention to what happens when they come to the sidelines. What are the coaches doing? Which kids are they talking to at what times? And if you have practice snaps going on and substitutions going in, and you're swapping centers, that's usually a giveaway. It's like, okay, there's a puzzle piece missing here.
Right. Something's going on.
Yeah. So, like I said, we don't like to hammer people because we don't know the full story behind it.
Right.
And a lot of times it's, hey, kids out this week, traveling, vacation, sick, hurt, whatever it might be. We don't know.
Yeah.
But we could definitely see that. Yeah.
So
there's
right
a
when I was
chemistry
watching
issue.
it, I texted him like, "You were right on the money, dude." A brand new center with the quarterback. That's why we swapped him out.
Now, when you did the varsity game, the varsity Knights and Central game, did you know that it was their third string quarterback?
I did. Before we went into that game, we did talk to Coach Hernandez, right?
Yeah,
Coach,
yeah.
We talked to Coach Hernandez a little bit that week leading up to it because we were asking him, hey, you mind if we come by, we video the game? He's like, absolutely. You know, we'll hook you guys up.
Yeah.
I had no idea that it was going to be the damn luxury box or whatever you guys got. But it was funny because we talked, and it was going to be a second string quarterback at the time because the first string was at some tournament, baseball. We're like, hey, go for it. You know, multi-sport athletes were 100% on board with that stuff, and it'll be a good challenge. And then he messaged me a day later saying, we're down to number 3. Yeah. And, you know, I was like, oh, man. And then I wanted to see what his response was, which is a brilliant response, which is basically challenge accepted. Like, he told me we're probably not going to shy away from, throwing too much. We're going to take what they give us, and, we're going to rally behind the quarterback, try to basically boost up some self-esteem and give them the opportunity, and then ask the rest of the team you guys got to step up. You got to step up. Yeah. And that's absolutely what happened that game. It was amazing to watch that unfold right in front of you from the very first pass to the very first touchdown pass, and you could see the confidence in that quarterback just through the roof, and then the rest of the team just on another level playing around him. So it was really...
That was an awesome game to watch.
That was pretty cool.
And that Central Saints varsity team is not bad. I know that they got crushed that game because that's about as good a game as you can play for, the 14 Unites there against the Saints. Because that Saints quarterback was huge. He was vicious. He was big. Their running backs were pretty good too as well. They had a couple athletic kids out there too, and they were big overall across the team. One of the things we look at when we're looking at teams, particularly from 12 and 14U level, is how big they are relative to their coaches. So if the 12U, if those 12U kids start to pass their coaches in height, that's a big 12U team. If the 14U kids are towering over their coaches, that's a big 14U team, right? And Central Saints, we saw them walk out, and if you listen to the 12U game, we saw the Saints come out. The 14 were like, oh, those guys are huge. Yeah. And we knew the odds were kind of stacked against the Knights. We had no idea how that was going to go. And then Knights just crushed them. They crushed a good team too.
Yeah, that was a good game. So one of their players. So I'm a middle school teacher in Escalon, and one of their players is in one of my classes.
Interesting.
And so Monday morning, I'd watched the film later on Sunday night. And I had watched, and so then Monday he comes, the kid, he's a nice kid. I really like him. He comes walking up and I said, "Oh, you're not limping." I go, "What?" I'm like, "I figured you'd be kind of like just barely stumbling up." He goes, "Well, how come?" I said, "After that butt whipping you got on Saturday." He's like, "Oh man, come on, man."
And we know we know some of the Central Saints kids that have been following us since we started doing it, and one of the 12U kids, it was his first loss in like 4 years since basically he started playing. And he came to finally meet us face to face in person, him and his dad, that game, and he looked crushed. I felt so bad for that kid. He had never experienced a loss before. And I'm just like,
good for him.
I was like, I want you to think about how this feels right now. I was like, just think about how this feels right now. It's a good thing. Use it to get better.
Better now than later in life.
Yes,
better
absolutely.
now.
Because some kids, especially later in life, they don't bounce back.
That's right.
They get crushed. But right there, that's a coachable moment. That's a teachable moment. There's no harm, no foul. Like, you lost one regular season game. It wasn't even the championship game, you know what I mean? But he's used to just being that guy and just whooping people. So,
There's that train that you love so much, by the way.
Oh, I know. That runs right by the stadium. We always wonder if it captures in the mics and stuff like that.
It does.
Yeah. Because you just can't get away from it. No. Then it rolls by like every half hour or so.
During the day on Saturday, right through the same thing with the Chiefs games. I'm sure.
They'll give you the horn. They come through the train horn.
Yeah, and we usually.
Hey, speaking of which, where is the train horn for the varsity game?
I guess we're only going to use it for league games. I don't know.
You guys are allowed to use that now?
Oh yeah. It's not a sound ordinance. I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Because you guys want to pull out the old cannon.
Rip and I can't do the
fucking cannon. Yeah,
So
we
you were a Lodi Junior or Lodi
I was
Flame.
a Flame.
You were a Flame. You guys had a flame, like a
Yes.
real torch.
Yes, we had a torch.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was
back-
about the only good thing you guys had at our school.
Nice.
Well, I don't know.
No, it was cool. Because your
you're-
mascot was a candy corn,
You're a
not a
little
flame.
younger, you're a little younger than me. So, I mean, I'm 50. So when I was there, we were fucking number one.
Oh, here
yeah.
it comes. Here it comes.
Division One.
See, when I
And
was
then
there,
left.
you guys hadn't won since I was in kindergarten. We were like 13 years in a row on top
Oh,
of
really?
Lodi
That
was
Flames.
probably
yeah.
It's okay.
Eli's last year.
Really?
Oh yeah.
No.
You act surprised. I'm
No,
not.
I am.
Now I'm
So
not
you might know a
surprised.
friend of mine. You know Israel Espinoza?
Is he?
Coach, yeah, coaches the
Yeah.
Colts. You know Izzy?
I do.
Part of Tokay?
Yeah.
Yeah, good friend of mine. Yeah, we played
He's a good
together.
dude. He's a
played
good dude.
together at Lodi High. I left Lodi when I was a sophomore with the Tracy High. Played at Tracy High
All right.
for the rest of my high school.
There
Yeah,
you go.
but back then,
The rest of his high school.
Tokay,
3 more years.
It was 3 more. Well,
The best 3 years of his life.
It wasn't
Continuation
all
year.
that fair, I guess, when I was there because North Stockton had started to blow up, South Lodi started expanding, and Tokay wasn't really much of a Lodi school. It was more of a North Stockton.
Oh, it's
school.
all Stockton.
There was no Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
There was no McNair. There was barely a Bear Creek when I was there. They had like 2 years incoming class going
Yeah,
there.
when I
So
was there,
we were pretty much a North Stockton. We
Tokay
were
was
stacked.
all Stockton kids.
Yeah, we were stacked.
Yeah, it was all Stockton kids when I played there. Yeah, you know, even the football wasn't even competitive. We'd kill them at football. You guys always whipped our ass at basketball.
Yeah.
Always at basketball.
Yep.
You know, there's so many brawls in that damn gym.
I believe that.
It was a good time back then. Yeah.
That's great. Did we just go down memory lane right there?
I think we did. Did you get the sounder?
No, I should have.
Where
But,
was that at?
You got the time back?
No.
no, sorry, Grand
No.
Napier.
No.
The chimes.
There we
There
go.
you go.
Fifth time's a charm.
I'm putting on my jock strap again right now as we
Yeah.
speak.
Oh, there we go.
I haven't washed it since. All right, well,
Shit just crumbled.
Let's go to break. We got a couple things we want to talk about when we come back. We got the hat giveaway from the Instagram contest, and then we also want to talk about how you can help North Valley Empire and some of their crappy luck that's happened in the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
So we'll go to break. We'll tease that, and then when we come back, we're an hour and 10 minutes in. I don't know if you guys realize that went that quick.
That went
but
quick.
That's a quick hour. So, Matt, what you do is you just say, YuSkool, go to break.
YuSkool, go to break.
Thank you.
You got some things to move. You call cow freight. Refrigerated or dry food. Cow freight. Pick up the dang old phone and call cow freight.
California Freight, a family-owned and operated business since 1989. Located right here in California's Central Valley. And just like our military, they're serving this country nationwide. Cal Freight takes pride in all their loads, coast to coast, no matter what you need delivered, whether it's food, beverage, dry goods, or anything in bulk. They're making sure that load's delivered on time. Let's face it, your customers are their customers too. So call Cal Freight, 209-599-5418. Hey, it never hurts to get an extra bid.
Call cow freight. Cow freight. You know I'm calling cow freight. Call cow freight.
This show is brought to you by Grossi Electric. Grossi Electric Inc. strives to provide customers with quality service for all electrical automation and design needs. The scope of their projects include, but are not limited to, irrigation, agricultural and food processing, packaging, solar energy, and everyday electrical solutions. With a wide range of customers throughout California, Grossi Electric is your go-to source for all your electrical and automation needs. Grossi Electric is located at 2020 Main Street in Escalon. Office hours are 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Give them a call at 209-821-6733.
At Grossi Electric, they strive to provide.
Hey everyone, I am here to tell you about a business owned by my good friend John Hyder. It's called Silo Hill Web. Silo Hill Web is a web design and internet marketing agency in the Treasure Valley of Idaho. They offer everything from custom web design to social media marketing. It doesn't matter if you live in Idaho or here in California. Silo Hill Web can help you succeed in the digital marketing landscape. Check him out at www.silohillweb.com.
All right, we are back from a break. Real quick, nice little break there. Got some
refreshments
and drain the main vein, like it. And then we talked about stuff that we couldn't really talk about on the air. So,
like what? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Like our fantasy football teams? Or?
Holy shit! Don't do that. Don't do that. It's Monday.
Yeah, people start.
We might touch on that. Actually,
the seven listeners that we already have now will quit if we start talking about fantasy.
How's your
football
active
teams.
roster looking now?
I think I won 159 to 154.
Oh Jesus
Really?
Christ!
Oh no, I got hammered.
Did you really?
Yeah. No bueno. I had a good team. I put up some nice numbers, but
Listen, I did good in fantasy, and hey, listen, the Bears beat the Niners. My whole fucking year is set. It's all I care about. I can talk shit all year at the bar, and no one can say a goddamn thing to Eli. Okay, that's all I care about.
You might be the biggest Bears fan I know.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, my brother-in-law, he's a pretty big Bears fan too, but you guys are right there.
Well, we're going back. We're going actually flying back. Me and Ethan, my youngest, are going back 2 days before Christmas. We're going to the Christmas Eve game against Buffalo. Oh. And Gary's going with us.
That's a loss.
Weepy-eyed Gary.
It's going to be a loss.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care.
That's
I don't,
true. All right.
I'm going to Bears game with my son for Christmas. I don't give a shit. Win, lose.
Have you been before?
I went a few years ago when they played the Niners.
Okay.
In the snow, and they beat the Niners, which was a great game too because I was with all Niner fans. We all flew out, went together.
Nice. So obviously, it wasn't in San Francisco.
No, it was in Chicago. Snow. Yeah. No, it was great. So we're going again for Christmas Eve game. His mother said take him. She gave me the blessing, so it's all good. I'm super excited for that. That's going to be a great time.
Well, I hope it's the best game you've ever seen in person.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And again, go Bears and Niners suck. It's okay. So it's going to be okay.
All right, so we did a contest, and I can't remember if it was 5 or 10, but it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to pick 10. So I said the first 100 followers on Instagram, if you follow us and you tag people and they follow and blah, blah, blah. And we had an overwhelming support from that, by the way.
Really?
And so, yes.
I can't figure out how to tag people. I tried to do it. I can't tag.
Can you help me download Instagram on my phone? I don't even have the app yet.
Well, your name's not in here, Fred.
What?
First
you know what?
of
That's
all-
bullcrap because I actually emailed in for the Big Johnson T-shirt.
Yes.
I was the first one.
You're not allowed to win.
I was, just because I was on the podcast and I emailed during the podcast.
You were on the podcast. You are not allowed to win.
Richie won it. That's bullcrap.
Richie Machado won it.
Richie won it, yeah.
He does not wear that to practice.
Thank God, yeah.
He cut the sleeves off, and he doesn't wear it to practice. And
I think you have to cut the sleeves off a Big Johnson T-shirt, don't you?
I think so. I think it was the one that I was talking about.
Don't you also cut it in half?
Aren't they perforated?
Like a baby doll?
Yeah,
I can
maybe.
see Richie. That would look good on Richie.
His was, I think, the big something about the big deck. Something about the big deck. Stay off the deck, or I can't remember what it was. Big Johnson,
Sure.
big deck. Girls like his big deck.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Right.
So
what is this?
I'm sure they do.
I'm gonna let Matt pick all 10.
There you go. Fuck yeah.
All 10.
So they can blame me if they don't win.
What are they
You
winning?
have 10 hats?
I have 100 hats.
Well, can we cut into 8 or 7 and give 3 of us hats?
Sure, if you want to. Go ahead and announce.
Oh, you want me to? Oh, you're gonna have me butcher their names.
Well, I don't know.
You'll be all right.
I got. Was that Noak Kenny?
Kenny
Nowak. All right.
All right, just set him to
I
the side.
can't believe these people listen.
By the way, I got the stats
I
the
can't
other
believe
day.
they follow directions.
Overwhelming. Overwhelming.
It says Michelle with one L, but it's still written here with two L's.
Yep. Okay. Michelle
with one L.
Yeah, I guess.
Who's that?
It just says Michelle with one L.
A great listener from the Stockton area.
All right. That was really.
Yeah.
Stefanator 22.
Stefanator 22.
We're gonna edit this out, right?
Stefanator 22. No, we're not editing this out.
Do you know who these people are?
I know who these people are. They always
Who's Stefanator 22?
They always like the stuff, so I'll look at them. And Stefanator is Zach Hogan's wife.
Okay.
I love it.
Michelle is drawing a blank. He had a name on the podcast. Bob. So this is Michelle's. So Bob from Sacramento. This is his wife, and he had a secret name.
So confused. I thought they were from Stockton.
What?
He had a
I thought Michelle was from Stockton, but her husband lives in Sac.
Hold on. We know a Bob in Sacramento?
No, we don't. I can't say his name.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
all right,
Okay.
all right.
Next one we got Jaw Holt.
J.A. Holt. Okay,
Yeah,
I think
J.A.
that's
Holt.
Jared Holt.
Okay.
Okay. Jared.
J. Ramgram.
J. Ramgram. Okay, I don't recognize that one right now. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
All right.
Wait, I think I got a
Jeremy Graham? Is that
Justin Graham?
Yeah, Justin.
Okay, oh, I do. Okay, keep going.
Papples 29.
Papples 29. All right, congratulations, Papples 29.
All right.
Oh, who is it?
I don't know.
This is stupid. I want to know their names.
We got a Enzo Gasparini 1492.
Okay, listen, this is cool and all. We gotta have your real names with your handles from now on.
Yeah.
Real names with your handles if you want to enter the contest. Come on.
I don't know these people's
Well, I
real
know,
names.
but still, if you guys see them, a real shout out.
Oh, yeah.
A
Okay.
real shout out.
Coach Fred 29.
But just, how about you just follow these people?
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't have Instagram.
All right, that's we got 7. Here's 8. This is a Capitol Building Addict.
All right, Capitol Building
Business
Addict.
account. All right.
All right. All right.
This is all legit, by the way, boys. All
And then
legit.
Heather Ellis 1640.
I know Heather.
That's 9. So
That's
here's
9.
10.
Here we go. We're gonna do it one more time.
And then last one here. Dwayne Sanders _DLBS _.
All right.
Dwayne Sanders.
Can you do an alternate?
You want to do a encore?
Yes.
Okay,
Encore.
11th one. Fred, you want to pick it?
Sure.
You're right.
Thank you, by the way, for picking all 10.
No problem. If you didn't win, you can blame me, I
This
guess.
is like when Kid Rock comes out and sings Born Free.
There we go. All right. Hear it? Ooh, there's a good one.
It's an
Right there.
ASMR channel now.
Oh.
That sounds so exciting.
IFR Shannon.
IFR Shannon. That might be Shannon.
Or IFRS Hannon?
That might be Shannon. Mitch and Shannon.
IFRS Shannon?
I'll have to check. I'll have to check later. But anyways, thank you everyone for going along with the contest. We're going to keep those names. Don't throw those names away. I do have them documented, I guess, on the podcast, but
Yeah, just to make it easier
it's
for
easier
you.
this way. So I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for picking that out.
Yeah.
So the last one, Eli, you didn't catch that one, but I think that was Shannon Holloway.
Oh, okay.
Or Shannon Crawford. Sorry.
Shannon Crawford.
Shannon Crawford.
Sorry. Said the maiden name. Sorry.
Whoopsie.
But anyways, everyone, thank you for following us on Instagram. I've been having a weird thing on Instagram lately. Every time I open it back up, I could do it 24 hours later. I could do it 5 hours later. It's 100 likes, and it is probably like 7 comments and about 2, 3, 5, 10 new followers. And it's ever since I started. I paid one time to like sponsor, like shoot out a post, and ever since it's just been blowing up.
Good.
Not so much on the followers, more
More
on
the likes.
the likes.
The likes.
And I even had to
Is it the dancing guy? Is it the Crave Street Crawlers? What the fuck they're called? What's he called?
Creek Cloggers.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I even one was getting so crazy. Like, I don't know if you've ever listened to Joe Rogan, but he always tells you to weed out and just go on Instagram, post what you're going to post, and never to listen to what.
Not look back at comments, likes. Yes,
that's a good practice.
My comment section was getting blown up so negative. They were just talking.
What?
This is the oldest video. This is horrible. Blah blah blah. But I'm still getting all these likes on it to the point where it's like, I don't know, maybe like 70,000 views and maybe even more, and then just a ton of comments on it. So I just deleted it.
It wasn't my kids, was it?
No. It was all.
It wasn't your kids, was it?
I didn't even know who these people were.
Was it your players?
No, it was like
probably his team mom.
You mean his wife?
Oh, yeah.
It could have been fake accounts for all I know.
Sure.
Oh, you're getting spam.
Russian bot.
I don't know.
Ukrainian
Are
bots.
you trying to affect the election?
Yeah, what's going on?
With the Craig Street Crawler? What the fuck the guy's name is?
Jay Creek Clogger. It was what's his name? I can't remember his name right now. But anyways, yeah, I was just getting blown up on this guy, and now I deleted that one. Now it's moving to another one. It's only one. It's not like multiple of them. It's just one getting blown up with a bunch of comments.
One stupid video.
And all it is a Christmas countdown, right? It might be Jay Creek Clogger dancing to the what is it, Wop Diddy or whatever that song is. I can't and people just, this guy's super old. This guy's 3 months ago. This guy, like
3 months ago.
Chill out. Look at
Is that a long time?
I guess in the
Yeah.
the interwebs, that's ancient.
Good
I guess.
Lord, I'm still living off last year's championship.
I still listen to Chumbawamba by Tub Thumpin'. You know, I play that during the games. I think that song's cool. You know, Blue.
Let's go, guys. Get fired up.
The other one is Blue. I'm blue.
Oh yeah.
I had one kid request Barbie Girl.
Absolutely.
And when I play that
As
song,
his walk-up song.
when I play it, he gets nuts. He's
Carry
like,
him off the car.
Barbie girl. Like, all right, I need that. On the
Is
field.
that the
I
kid
need
that
more
broke his
Barbie
arm?
girl.
Same kid that broke his arm?
No.
That's a template kid.
So we were going to get to Matt's unfortunate bad luck, and I really hope that the listeners can help Matt out just like they helped me out. But Matt went to the game on Saturday, and he went out to dinner afterwards, and I don't know all the details after that. So if you want to finish talking about what happened and
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked earlier about us lugging around, all this equipment and stuff up and down, 100 pounds. I mean, the Roadcaster that you have here, we had something similar that we used to lug around with us, cameras.
you had the newer version.
Laptops and stuff. It's pretty much the same thing as I'm looking at the number one here, so I kind of maybe overpaid for my number two. But, maybe just the iPhone, 500 is the same as the iPhone 3. But anyway, we went out as we normally do. My dad and I, we went out to restaurant to eat after the game. Long day of streaming. We're usually the first ones there, one of the last ones to leave just because of how long it takes to set up and pack out. We go and we eat. We come back out to the truck, open up the truck. My glove box is open.
Uh-oh.
And so I'm looking around.
His gun's gone.
And I'm looking. I was like, why did my glove box, did we leave it? Did we get into it? No. And then it just clicks. Someone's been in the truck. Go to the back of the truck. Pop open. Everything's gone. And now, not quite everything. Here's the weird thing about it. All the camera equipment's gone. Laptop's gone. All the audio equipment, everything's gone to the tune of just shy of pretty much 15 grand. Gone.
Damn.
Wow.
They left some expensive items still in the truck. We had a few other things in there that should catch the eye of anybody who's prowling just for necessities if they're living on the streets or anything like that. Power generators and stuff like that. Very nice ones, very good ones.
Probably too heavy to carry off, maybe?
It would have been more useful to carry those than the stuff that they got. I mean, I guess they could pawn the other stuff or whatever, but yeah, even some smaller things that was more useful to them, they didn't take off with. So it's.
You think they just grabbed what they grabbed and they bounced out?
I'm not sure. Because they left other things that I thought might be more useful, maybe even more valuable, easier to sell. I don't know. We're around everywhere. I would not say, I'd be lying to you guys if we were well received by everybody, because that's not sometimes. We've been kicked out of games.
You don't really think it's like an inside job, do you?
I have no idea, because here's the thing: no windows were broken.
Really?
I'm looking at the seals. We're in Stockton.
Okay.
Off Pacific Avenue.
Ooh, it's a rough neighborhood.
Where were you eating at?
BJ's restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do love BJ's.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where me and my dad, we go out, we just grab a beer or whatever.
I love the chocolate covered cookie with ice cream.
What's that? The Pizookie. Yeah, my dad loves that too. My dad goes with the Pizookie every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could make heads or tails of it. I drive a pretty unique truck, kind of easily identifiable.
Not the go kart you have.
No,
out there?
not the go kart.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, you're just harshing on Jeez Louise.
But yeah, it's got like the rooftop tent on it and stuff like that, and it's got a couple other things that I like to take camping with me and whatnot. So it's just a white 4Runner, and yeah, I don't know how they got into it, but they got into it, and they knew.
And
we weren't in the restaurant for very long. Yeah, we'd lock and it automatically locks.
No, but everything still locks. Like they didn't break a lock. They didn't.
Yeah,
No damage to the vehicle.
Nothing.
And you locked it.
Yes.
Wow. Dang.
Like it's a second nature kind of, especially when we're out.
Sure.
Yeah.
You live in Stockton.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
Like I'm not an idiot. Like Stockton
Right.
is always going to be Stockton, no matter how much I try to fight against that.
The reason why I ask you that is because I live in Ripon, and not saying that it's, a lot of people call it Silvertown. I get it, but sometimes I don't lock my car. Sometimes I don't lock my front door. I mean, I don't even have a key to my front door, to be honest with you, but.
Yeah, I've lived in Stockton for over 10 years. I know what Stockton's all about. Coached all out of Stockton. I know exactly the neighborhoods that you're not supposed to be in. I know what sides of town you're not supposed to be in at certain times of the day.
Right.
I'm not naive to know to lock everywhere you go in Stockton. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
And yeah, it blew my mind. We walked out there, I couldn't figure that out.
Well, that's the shits.
So
it's horrible.
This is not covered by any kind of insurance.
So we did the normal police report thing, right? We filled all that stuff out because of the dollar amount. Because in Stockton, you guys might not know, but you have to fill out a report online. You can't do it over the phone. They don't particularly respond to property.
They're not going to send an officer out.
No. Stockton,
no way.
They got bigger fish to fry. They're not going to do anything property crime wise. They're not going to send anybody.
I watched 209 times. I see it all.
Yeah, exactly.
See it all.
Exactly right. And so I try to fill something out online. It gets rejected because the dollar amount was too high. So then I had to call and tell them that my claim was rejected. I had to talk to investigator, all the other stuff, go down the list and everything, which is on my GoFundMe. There's a huge list of all the items that I had that was taken. And then just found out today, car insurance not going to cover that stuff. They cover the damage to a vehicle, which
there was none.
There's none. Maybe my glove box doesn't really close right anymore.
And your glove box is a $15,000 glove.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's exactly
gold bar.
At that point, I probably should have went. I need this top of the line. It was,
You should have started smashing windows. You know what I mean?
Trust me, I felt like it at that point once everything was taken. But yeah, they wouldn't cover it. So now it's next step is to see renter's insurance, just to see our house
So your
insurance.
homeowners,
homeowners insurance. Yeah.
I don't know, but I know that I have had a dirt bike stolen before, and my homeowner's insurance covered it. It was out of my truck.
Okay.
So they did cover that, and my auto insurance wouldn't cover it.
Right.
But my homeowners did.
Well, even my car insurance company said you need to go through your homeowner's insurance to see if they'll cover it.
You might have some luck there. Good luck.
Yeah, I need all of that too as well.
Yeah, for sure.
That there is no this weekend for us. There's no way I could do it. So everyone who, and I get it every single day.
Hey, go back to the iPhone and the tripod.
iPhone and the Easy Up, yeah.
Yeah, no, I cannot cramp up that way anymore. I'm too old for that.
Matt, you can use any of this equipment you want. You can borrow whatever you want.
I appreciate that. But yeah, it's all gone, and people are asking me to come do their games, and hey, can you still do these games? And I'm just like, I can't. I even told you today, I was like, I can't even do a virtual podcast. My laptop was in that too as well, the stuff that helps manages the stream as we go through the day. So I have nothing.
Now Anthony screenshotted, I think your post. I don't know if it was on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and
I appreciate.
He sent it out to a bunch
of
of us. I'm like, oh, dude, that's terrible.
You know, for all those families that they really look forward to your videos coming out. Thank you. It's time for them to pony up. $10, $20, not a big deal. I think it's worth every penny because what you do for teams like us when we played Central, by the way, one of my hype up motivational speeches in the team room was, you're going to be on YouTube and you're going to be on YouTube forever. Do you want to be on YouTube losing? Or do you want to be on YouTube?
Whoa.
I gave it to them straight. And they're like, we want to win. I said, if you guys, from the week one, which just happened to be this way, we didn't even know that you guys were coming. Week one, it said, if you guys go 3-0, you guys get a pizza party. So that was part of their motivation and the fact that they were going to be on YouTube.
The pizza really was the motivation.
Well, for sure.
It's hard to compete with
They don't
pizza.
understand that YouTube's forever. So that's good to remember because,
No.
Are you
At halftime, I had a kid stand up and say, we want to be on YouTube. We want to win forever.
Oh, that kid said, I want pizza. I want pizza, coach.
So I want to know. Oh, no, actually, I'm not. Dadgummit. I was going to say I want to know on YouTube, but I'm not.
You're one? What do you mean?
No. Because they did the Super Bowl.
Oh, you guys didn't?
No, I'm 1-on-1 in the Super on YouTube.
The 14U last year.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
Yeah,
though.
that was.
He just has a rough start. If you cut out like the first 5 minutes of the game and then start right there, that's a
how you
different ball
remember
game.
all these details.
He does. That's impressive.
Well,
I just was talking about that game today with
Yeah.
another coach who's coaching high school with me, and he had talked to the head ref of that game recently, and the guy said to him again, we screwed you on a call. That the touchdown, the kickoff that got ran back, and they called it short, and then we couldn't punch it in. And
No, that was a touchdown.
it was, their game film shows it.
Yeah. And I left it in there on purpose because I agree with you. Because even if there are certain plays that happen that either get called back, called short, down, just like the fumble that I just posted from the Rip and Christian where 99 scoops the ball out from underneath the Central Saints, but the ref had already made up his mind whose ball that was going to be and pointed the opposite direction, then consulted with everybody and still came to the same conclusion. Now I understand they don't got the camera that I got, or had rather, that could get in that tight and see that clear, but it was the timing. Like when there's a pile on a fumble, the normal thing to do is who comes up with it. Who stands up with that ball?
Right, yeah.
Right? You try to peel people off the pile to make
Right.
sure you can get a clear view. And then if no one's really coming up with the football, then you make your judgment call. But this ref stayed standing, wasn't very deep pile, didn't wait very long, and then made a judgment call. And then turned away from the pile to make that call. Right? So that bugs me a little bit.
He
much.
came up with the football. 99 came up with the football.
He did.
And with the way you zoomed in on it, you see his arm sneak in there and pull the football.
Right.
And that kid wasn't down.
No,
He
no
didn't
one
have
really
full
had the ball.
possession
It
of
happened so quick. And I even slowed it down, and it still happened quick in the slow-mo. No one had possession of that ball except for 99 after he stood up with it. That's why he was so confused.
He actually wasn't touched. He could have ran it back.
Oh, really?
No, technically you're right. I didn't even think about that.
But yeah, so back to it, how can we help you out? How can our listeners help you out? Because I just got this crazy new stat from Lipson the other day, which is brand new. They say that 2,500 people listen to it daily. That's a lot, because normally it's just like 100 people a day download it brand new.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been relying on that, but Lipson just put out a new stat as of September 1st, and they give you the exact numbers every single day of the people that listen to the podcast.
Every day?
Every day. And we're averaging right around 2,500 listeners per day.
Wow, I didn't think you knew that many people.
I don't. But you look at it, and San Francisco has a ton of people listening to it.
Really?
Los Angeles has a ton of people listening.
How many
Really?
in India? Here, get this.
What are they listening for?
How many people in India?
I'm confused.
India is the biggest one.
No, I'm not.
English.
We're teaching them English.
They're calling you about your car warranty. That's why they keep
that's
liking.
probably why.
They keep liking it.
That's probably right.
Hey, what's your
though.
phone number again now?
The amount of listeners you have and stuff, that's probably right. I went in, I just looked at my YouTube analytics that we got right now. And in the past 48 hours, we have 2,600 views and about 40,000 in the past month.
Wow, that's huge.
And it was not always like that. Like just recently this year and last year, it's gotten significantly more popular to the point where it's really weird to walk into a game and people recognize the logo or you as you're
Nice.
walking in,
Yeah,
and
that's
people
cool.
are saying
Good for
hi.
you.
Like that
Yeah.
was like that blows me away. We only have a small window to go to the snack bar, grab
Right.
some drinks,
Yeah.
right? Because we're
Yeah.
coming all the way from the top of the press box, getting down, and then getting back up, and
Well, not
just
at our-
smashing
not
a
at our
hot
seat.
dog, whatever we got.
Did the Knights bring you food?
They offered, but here's the thing. So we have a thing because I've run a franchise myself. I know the gate and that snack bar is
Money makers.
Those are the money makers.
That's
So
the money.
every time I go in, I'm gonna pay my way in. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. We pay our way in, and we support the snack bar every time we come in.
Wow.
Just as a way that we know how it goes. We know that some franchise really struggle with the financial aspect of it, and we just want to support people. Also, we also don't want to feel really indebted to anybody just because they're giving us things, and now we have to do favors in return. We kind of don't want that relationship to form
creative
either.
editing, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like whatever it might be.
Yeah,
like,
a couple of free hot dogs and a water give you, give you
Yeah.
Hey, that Coach Fred's a pretty good guy, huh? Well, that Coach Al's doing a great job out there
Great
today,
call by
boys.
Coach Fred
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach Al, he's looking pretty thin. Looks like he's lost a couple of
Coach Al looks like he dropped a couple of LBs since last time we saw him.
Oh, that was the other thing when you guys did zoom in on our
Let's hear it.
no, he zoomed in on we were doing a timeout and I'm talking to the boys and I don't know if they were talking about me or one of the other coaches, but he's like, this guy looks just like this guy, but this coach is a little bit heavier than that guy. And they're looking at me.
That's
like,
probably my dad. No
I already
pulling
know
punches.
I already know I'm fat, so it's no big deal.
Well, looks like they gave Coach Al a medium this year.
An extra medium.
That whole 30 that he said he was on in the offseason really didn't pan out.
The off season really, he was really packing it on.
Not sure what gym he went to, but wasn't one.
He went to Jim's barbecue.
Yeah, Jim's Bar and Grill.
His name was Jim.
Yeah.
So back to it. How can we help you though? How can
It's all about the GoFundMe right now. So there's a GoFundMe. You can get that through our link in the bio on Instagram. You can reach out to me via email. I can get you the link. YouTube, there's a post there too as well to get to the GoFundMe. And I can't stress enough that's pretty much I'm pretty much down to just the GoFundMe. If home insurance doesn't pan out, that's it. And the tragic part about this is because I've been building up this kind of equipment and this stuff for the past 5 years. This is not something I can meet halfway. Like if it gets to, it's at 1,500 right now, which is amazing already for the people that have been helping out. A lot of my friends and family have already been chipping in. They've heard about it. But if you guys could at least share it out, that would be the biggest thing.
So what is your GoFundMe?
It's just under North Valley Empire.
North Valley Empire GoFundMe.
Yeah, GoFundMe. And like I said, you can get that directly to donate through our social media. So whether it's YouTube or Instagram, you can find Coach Ralph on Facebook. I don't do the Facebook thing, but he does a Facebook. You can see that logo, Coach Ralph. You'll see him there. But yeah, like it's unfortunate because I'm at this point where if the money doesn't come from the insurance, it has to come from the GoFundMe, and it's got to be all of it, which is an insanely big ask. I know that. And that's why I listed out the equipment that's there, because it's really not a money grab. Like, I can't stress it enough. If you were to go to research each one of these items that's on there, the camera, just the body itself was $4,200.
Yeah.
I was gonna say your camera is badass, and then
I
your
like
lens.
it too.
Yeah.
I saved for years to get this equipment to do exactly what I'm doing now. There was no, I'm also going to do this. It was for the live stream. I started off with like I said, a phone, and then it turned into this small little retail $100, $200 camcorder. And then that was the big upgrade last year, was to get us to the true HD, a zoom that can get all the way in, because the lens itself is just shy $3,000.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like I said, I grind it out. I work a 9 to 5. This is, I'm not a trust fund kid by any means, nothing like that, quite the opposite. And, grinded and I got it, and I'm super proud of it. We're great. We went to the audio upgrade this year, which is also what got taken, our Rodecaster. We had 2 very nice broadcaster headsets and everything like that. Microphone setups that made you hear the crowd. Right,
yeah,
and then also hear our
that
commentary
could be
just
a
as
negative in
clear.
youth football, so you know.
No, I think
Especially
it's
if you're close to the coach's box. That could be a negative.
Maybe. We do hear a lot that comes out of the coaches stuff, but so far the coaches have been pretty good. See, that's the, we were kind of talking about, Friday Night Tykes and how they highlight all the drama and the bad stuff about youth football. And that's actually why my wife never comes to any of the youth football games, because unfortunately, while I was coaching, she's sitting in the stands and you hear all that criticism and they don't know she's my wife. And so they're just hearing them bad mouth me the whole time. So she got kind of a bad thing about it. But when I'm listening in on the coaches, there's a lot of good things going on out there. Sometimes you can hear the good coaching that's happening, the good positive reinforcement. Hey, don't worry about that. We're going to get the next one, that kind of stuff. Because the kids are nowadays, they're so afraid of failure. Yeah. They're beating themselves down already. But especially Rip and Knights do a good job of it too. So you guys are very positive, and you give them constructive feedback. You're not just beating down a kid. You are willing to tell them you're messing up or you're doing something wrong, but you're also telling them how to fix it. Yeah. And we want to highlight those things.
That's coaching.
Right.
Yeah.
Actual, real coaching that the parents never get a chance to experience, because a lot of them don't show up to practice, right? They're dropping their kids off 2 hours. I get to go have
2 hours
dinner.
of babysitting.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't see that kind of stuff. They're not there at the practice, and they're not there through the grind of it, right? And those relationships, they don't understand it because they're not there for it between the coach and the player. So I like to highlight those things. When I say paint everybody in a positive light, it's really not that hard. Yeah. We're capturing it all the time we're out there, because as coaches, we've been there.
Well, really, it can't always be positive anyways in sports. Someone's going to lose. Yeah. There's life lessons to be learned, and some of the best parts are not positive. No. It's the negatives you learn from and you build from. You know what I mean? Hey, it might turn into positive in a year, 2 years, or months down the road, or a week. But that negative is going to help you out. That struggle, that tough part.
Nowadays, more so than ever now before, the hardest thing to teach is that delayed gratification. Mm-hmm. And it's not even guaranteed.
Because this is fucking up.
Yeah, no, so many things. I mean,
this is...
Yeah,
the
cell phones.
People, the cell phone is the worst thing we have now.
The instant gratification and stuff. And you can tell by when these kids are asking me to do not just one game a weekend, but multiple games a week, and they think I'm like, ESPN or something. I was like, I'm not there. I'm not physically there. There are 2 guys lugging around a bunch of equipment that they took from us.
You need 20 trucks with a crew.
Yeah, like to do, and I'm just like, that's not, like I want to. It's not that I don't want to, but I unfortunately have to make the decision to only go to one game that weekend and do the best job, and hopefully they're good games. And that delayed gratification for kids, it's really tough. It's very hard for a kid to work for a whole month before even playing a game to see the results, but then go through the whole season, 4 or 5 months, just to see if they're even have a shot at getting a real trophy, not a participation ribbon or anything like that, but see something that's actually going to stick with them for the rest of their life, even if it's not a trophy, to realize that, hey, I learned how to work with people that I actually don't like a whole lot, but I learned how to work with them. Yep. I learned how to respect a different authority figure that other than my parents or parent, right? Just the one that we typically have. And that helps them. They don't know it now, but it's going to help them with whatever job they pick up later in life, something they don't like to do, but able to grind through it, work through it, be good at it, take at least a little bit of pride in the outcome and the result and those kinds of things. Well, that delayed gratification, I mean, that's so hard to pass through to a kid and get them to understand that. They're so young. They don't know.
One of the most important things you can teach them, too, is that they can do it.
Yeah,
they can effing do it. They really can,
and the videos do that.
And it doesn't matter when you come youth football. I've got 4 children, 3 boys. I have one he's 100, probably 130 pounds still, right? And I have one that's 250, 230 right now, right? 6'5". So I've got different kids, but all of them can do it. And they've all done it, and that's when you prove to a kid they can do it. They take that through life. Yep. There's nothing they can't do, because if you can survive football, you can survive getting your ass kicked, getting yelled at by a coach who is not your parent, like you said, different authority figure.
Yeah.
If you can take that, you getting yelled at by an opponent, making a bad play, letting your teammates down, letting your coaches down, letting yourself down, and you can come back and do it again and again and again. It builds a hell of a lot of character.
It really does.
It really does in kids.
It really does.
It really does.
It is, to me, it's always been that ultimate sport. Like, I've done a bunch of sports. I played baseball. I've even done really hard sports like wrestling in high school and stuff like that. But there is something fantastically different about football, and it's not about the wins and losses, like the end result. It's much more than that. It really is.
Yeah. Yep. No,
and when we're doing the videos, we're trying to capture those moments in time that they're just never going to forget. That third string quarterback for Ripon Knights, we captured something special that night.
Yeah.
That was amazing for us to capture. He's going to remember that for the rest of life. He's going to know that, hey, as bad as the world can be, that took $15,000 worth of my equipment, right?
Yeah.
His players, who maybe only know him for 2 months, some of them barely know him, rallied behind him, supported him, said, we're going to be there for you. The world's still a good place out there, right? Social media doesn't necessarily capture that stuff. But that moment we got, and that's going to stick with him. I guarantee it's going to stick with him, and we got it. It's on video. It's forever. The internet's forever.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And that kid's mom wants to know why he's not first string. Just so you know. Right now.
I know.
You know.
Coach Hernandez laughed about that, too. And me and Coach Ralph were talking about that, like, holy crap, like, that first string quarterback's going to come back next week. I wonder, we want to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. Like, that's really tough. But you know what? Just like you said, that's adversity. He may not get that starting job. That first-string quarterback may come back, and I don't know if that would be the case. But in other situations, that first-string quarterback comes back, he doesn't have a job. And he didn't even do anything to lose it. How's he going to respond to that situation? These are all things that we go through in life.
Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Is a perfect example. You know what I mean? Hey. That's what happens.
Yeah, Drew Bledsoe was not a bad quarterback.
He was great. He's a great quarterback.
He's an awesome quarterback. It's just, unfortunately, the GOAT.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you like it or not.
He was sitting behind you the whole time. How'd you know?
Right, exactly.
You would never know, yeah.
And, you could say the same thing about people who played against Michael Jordan. They were supposed to be the Michael Jordan of that era.
Until
had not Michael Jordan been in that era. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there were so many good players. But like I said, that particular memory, like I said, that's going to stick with them. That's going to be huge for him. And that's why we always try to capture every single weekend.
I got a question for you. What's your this week's game? How do you decide where your next week's game is going to be?
I can kind of theorize what we had on the schedules because we have a tentative schedule. So we pencil in about 4 teams. This weekend would have been, let me
bringing
see
up
here.
a sore subject because he doesn't even have.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't mean to.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm curious how you pick them because,
I'm busting your chops.
Oh, no. Bust away. Yeah. I just donated $10, just so you know.
Oh, I appreciate that. You have no idea. All right, so this weekend, 17th was Saturday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of the games we absolutely look forward to. Modesto Broncos and the Turlock Pride.
Okay.
Those like Modesto Broncos, Turlock Pride, and Oakdale Stampede and SinCal, those were kind of like must-see games for us. We knew as that schedule got published, we were trying to figure out how to fit those particular games in. That would have been this weekend.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're naming off teams I've never even heard of, by the way. So
I encourage you guys.
The Broncos. That's another team the kid we were talking about earlier went to.
Okay.
He went there
yeah,
also.
You're right.
Yeah.
So solid franchise, very old franchise.
Yeah. They've been around a long time.
Yeah, they were actually used to be part of the Delta Youth Football League way back when. I want to say they're near that, like 30 or 40 year in running.
Yeah.
And you know how hard it is to run a franchise just for 1 year.
There was
the
some
fact that
talk
they're doing it for decades.
That maybe we were going to join forces with them, like during the COVID kind of weird.
Just to play ball?
Something, I don't know. There was something. Yeah, and then everything just kind of got squashed. So, yeah.
It's the COVID year was a tough year for me, too.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I saw your post, and it broke my heart when I saw what happened. And I thought, this is a dude that's in your family, you're passionate about what you do. And you're really doing a really great thing because my kids have watched these videos. They're watching other teams play other teams that they don't even know who these teams are. And I'm sure they're there's a ton of kids like that doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I've seen how many views you have on your posts, and so that just goes to show there's proud parents watching these things. There's kids watching these things. There's kids watching these preparing for the next game. There's kids watching these getting hyped up for the next game. Whatever the case might be, and these moments are captured for the rest of the lifetime. So I hope that our listeners will help you out a little bit and drop some money and help you out to get your stuff. But I know you got a big hill to climb, and I wish you the most luck raising $15,000 because, as you can tell, I have been buying the same kind of equipment, not the same as what you have, but this wasn't just overnight. Right?
I don't expect it would be. It is a grind to get to this level, and we laugh about how many. It wasn't that long ago that I looked at a video and it got 100 views, and I said, "Who the hell is watching this stuff?" Like, I don't understand that. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now, like, there's this weird thing where now it's like it's 100 views in the first freaking hour, and I'm like, holy cow, like, who's waiting at the computer for this stuff to really
I was.
like,
I put on the notification.
That's so weird to me.
Notify me when this video comes out. I told my boys.
I know you're filming. Are you live streaming the games?
We've been battling with that all year. So live streaming is a whole nother beast because you're at the mercy of a cell phone tower. How many people are at the game using the same cell phone tower, that same signal?
I thought you did live stream it.
Oh.
We do live stream it. We do try. It does not always go well because what happens is if there's a bottleneck
Too
that
much
happens,
bandwidth in one area?
Right. Like, so think of it like you got Wi-Fi in the house and all the kids are streaming three different devices and playing video games. Hey, you're not even watching Netflix. Why are you playing your games at the same time? It's like, oh, that's what I always do. But you have like 5 kids that are doing that in the house, and now you can't even watch something else in the other room. That's essentially
I hate children too.
Yeah.
I hear you.
That's what happens.
Hey, next time you come to Ripon Christian Stadium and talk to me, we'll get you hooked up with a Wi-Fi password.
The Wi-Fi.
That nobody else has.
So but the phone that I have here, we hotspot it and we hope for the best, and I tweak my settings to try to squeeze it in, and it's not a great quality that comes out usually. And we've made upgrades and stuff and tried every which way to try to get it done, and for the most part we've done an okay job. I mean, I'm a kind of a perfectionist. I think it's dog shit, but sorry, excuse me. But I'm always trying to improve to get to that level, but what we're doing is a little bit ahead of its time as far as the in real time live streaming stuff. Like,
so you live stream it and then you go back and you recut it all?
Oh, dude, you got to see it, man. There's all kinds of cutouts.
It's a beast. Okay, so
because maybe I've only watched the.
It is.
You haven't paid for it. That's why.
I've only live streamed
Cheap
it.
Bastard.
So
I live streamed during.
So I can try to do my
I've seen the
best
highlights, sorry.
to claim or to try to figure out how to explain this to everybody. So I am operating a camera at the same time I'm commentating.
Okay.
I am cutting it on the camera, so the record and stop is happening at the same time I'm doing all this and doing my commentary.
Well, you don't go back and edit the videos because I saw one today that he sent me.
I do. I do. So,
okay.
And then the laptop is recording the live feed straight from the camera without getting bottlenecked from the cell phone tower, so I get the best quality out of that.
Okay.
So that's recording all the things straight through. My dad is controlling all the overlays, so he's controlling the score and everything, doing the commentary and monitoring the health of the live stream. So when it goes down or the quality just takes a dump, he's sitting there troubleshooting as he's commentating. He's sitting there working with the laptop as we're trying to get this settled. Sometimes you hear us in the background get kind of distracted because we're actually troubleshooting on the fly as we're going. Then after that game, as soon as I walk in through the door, I'm propping up my laptop, setting it on basically a table, just a fold-out table like we got here, and I get to editing and uploading and stuff like that. So to kind of put it in perspective, 1 minute of final editing that they see in the highlights took about an hour to edit.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So if you talk about a 10-minute video that gets released on a Friday night, I was probably working on Monday or Tuesday. I started working on it. And by the time it releases on Friday, I'm so sick of it because I've heard the music like 50 times over. I'm not actually even a big fan of the music I use, but because of copyright limitations stuff, I'm using kind of funky music and things like that.
That's
and
what
then
the kids like, though, by the way.
do they really? I hear nothing but bad things about the music.
No, my kids
I'm just
love
like
the
whatever.
songs.
It's something kind of middle of the road that somebody will let me use.
Sure.
And the hardest part is using a new song every single video.
Why can't you go back and repeat?
I could. But like I said, because I'm a perfectionist, it bothers me. I've already listened to that song 50, but it gets old.
Yeah, you're sick of it.
I'm sick of it.
Well,
so I'm
you're
sick of the
it,
highlight
but-
video
but
by the
your-
time it comes out. I don't even know if it's
Your
good.
fans are not, clearly. So you can reuse the same music.
Yeah, maybe.
You really could.
I think after a while, I could go back to my old 2017, 2016 videos and start using that stuff again.
Definitely.
But I got called out for that. I did it a couple times, and one of the coaches said, "Hey, that's the music from this video," and he pointed out the exact same video. He linked it to me.
That
I
guy's
said,
a loser.
You're a psycho.
Yeah. It was his
losers.
video though. It was his
Oh,
video,
right,
so he
okay,
like
yeah.
knew exactly. Hey, that was in our video.
Yeah.
Like that same. I was like, this
take
is
it
wild.
easy, Rod. We got a lot of videos out there, a lot of music. Okay.
Yeah.
He must have been from the Modesto Ram.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, what I've seen of you guys do, it's pretty impressive. The fact that you guys, how positive you guys stay, regardless of the score.
It gets tough.
You can kind of, if
Yeah,
you're
you can
really
tell.
watching,
You
you're
can
like,
tell.
"Ooh, they're really stretching there." But
Yeah.
yeah, but I appreciate that. I mean, ultimately, they're 14 to 6-year-old kids.
Yeah.
And to stay that positive, and so if they were to go back and watch that, even if they got their butt kicked, they're still going to hear some things that are that they did well.
Yeah.
Across the board, and so that's tough to do. I mean, Al and I have done some announcing at games, and it can be tough to do when you're doing
some announcing or 10 years of announcing.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Been a while.
Oh, anyway,
It's one of those things where you
it's a
shut
lot
off
of-
the
yeah.
mic, you get it
Yeah,
out of
you're
your
like,
system, and then you go
holy
back to
crap,
the
yeah.
live mic.
He did a really.
These guys are freaking terrible.
Yeah.
No, they did a really nice compliment, for instance, on my son, and just to see my son's face smile, like they're like, "Hey, this boy, he knows how to hold on to the ball. That he's a lightweight running back," and they grab the ball and they.
Is that number 20?
Yeah.
He's amazing, by the way. I'm a
Really?
big fan of the small guys.
Really?
Because
How
I was
the
a
hell
small
do you
guy coming
remember
through.
that?
Yeah, like I said, I watched that video a bajillion times already.
Wow.
But the fact that you were about to mention him holding the ball close to his body, so when he's so lightweight and they're pulling at that ball, his whole body follows with it. It's a good fundamental to have because you don't fumble the ball. I used to coach small running backs and stuff like that, and that was one of the things. It's like, you're small. You have to live with that disadvantage. You have to roll with the punches. They're going to pull at you. They're going to try to give you a big lick. You're going to have to drop a shoulder, absorb the impact, spin off. You're going to keep the feet moving. Use low center of gravity. Hide behind the line. Use that to your advantage. All those different things. So sorry to take your thunder on your son, but no.
Do you have kids?
I do not.
You don't.
Yeah.
That's why you can do this.
No. I'm
My brother has kids. I see my dad.
So, I'm just wondering because if you ever film your own child, is what I wondered. If you ever come on your own child's game, that's why I was.
The closest I ever got to something like that was I coached my little brother when I first started coaching.
Okay.
And I was about as hard as you could be on a younger brother. He was my younger, bigger brother eventually.
Yeah.
And he was a way better football player than I ever was too as well. I was a center. He was a center. He tried out for quarterback. I could have been that coach that made, little brother the quarterback. He was maybe third string by the end of that attempt, and he ended up going back to the line and saying, "You know what? I want the playing time." I'm like, "Great, go where you think you're going to be successful." I didn't want to try to influence him too much, but I was hard on him. He never started whenever I coached.
Really?
Yeah, he never did. Not to say he didn't get a lot of playing time because
Right.
there were those years in particular. It wasn't because I didn't want to play him. You get a stacked team every once in a while. And you're just battling for playing time for all the other kids, right? So the moment you get up by like 3 scores, you're just starting
You're putting everybody.
Yeah,
That's right.
4 score goes in, you start letting a whole bunch more in, and when it's a complete blowout, all starters out of the game, and you're just playing. Who cares? If you don't pitch a shutout, my brother would hate that. He was a defensive coordinator, but even his second, third, and fourth strings had to pitch shutouts.
Sure.
Like that was the expectation. Like no drop off. Doesn't matter. You guys practice against
good.
the best in the league.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's the best offense you'll ever face as a third or fourth string defense. that offense you're facing is nothing. You guys should still pitch the shutout. So, but yeah, I don't have kids. I enjoy the hell out of kids. Got plenty of nieces and nephews. I like to skip to the grandparent stage, I guess. So if I'm babysitting, I'm going to spoil the hell out of them and send them back home spoiled rotten. So I just kind of skip to that.
I do have to tell you, what was I saying, though, about the positive compliment? So you were giving my son a compliment on that.
Yeah.
He had a big smile. And then my other son, not to cut you off, by the my other son, his first play was like, he's on junior novice, throws it to a kid, catches it, runs it in for a touchdown, right? My son just adores that whole video so much that this morning I get out of the shower, it's about 6 a.m., walk into the living room. He's laying on the carpet with his hand on his head, elbow on the carpet, and he's just watching that game over. And he was like, maybe into the end of the first quarter, but he's going to be watching that game for at least the next 5 years, I would assume.
I'm willing to guess it'd be longer than that. The reason why I say that is because
his high
our
school
latest
girlfriend
podcast.
watched that game.
Hey, honey, watch this. This is that.
I was
touchdown.
so good.
First play, touchdown.
I was 7.
Before
babe, look at me, babe.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at me.
Swinging a hammer that time too.
But we just did a podcast on our 2005 team, and we had these. They're not even kids anymore. They're full-blown adults, jobs, kids, everything, families coming back onto the podcast live and commenting with us. And that was really cool. So that we have a 2005 Lodi Bobcats podcast that we were just kind of being nostalgic about. We just wanted to give people an idea of what we do on the podcast side of thing that we could release for free. And so we did that, and we even had players from the other teams that we played against that we had scouted and highly respected actually jumped on the stream.
Really?
Yeah, and we
cool.
started talking back and forth and just catching up with them. They're coaching, their high school football teams now, or their wrestling teams and all that stuff. And all the players saying, I just talked with so-and-so. We finally found each other on, social media. They got a daughter and they're working here. And you'd be surprised, like, we had kids that are coaching Tokay, even that are in that video. So they still watch that stuff. It's so funny. They say, "Oh yeah, I've watched it. It's on YouTube still." So every once in a while, if it comes up in conversation, they'll go back to the video and bring it up. So it's a thing. They'll watch it.
Hey, the next home game, because we have a TV in the team room. Next home game, which is this coming up weekend, I'm going to play our video to pump the kids up because they absolutely love that stuff. It's so
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm so happy they do. That's really the joy in it all right there. I have fun doing it, not just because of the videos or how many views or anything like that I get, but it's a good time for me and my dad to actually spend time together. He works still a ton. I work a dumb amount of hours every week, but that Saturday, me and Dad, we know the routine. We're going to wake up early. Yeah. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be hot and sweaty. We're going to get up there. We're going to grind through it to the day. Nothing is going to go perfect. We're going to lose the live stream about a dozen times. But then we get to go and we get to eat dinner afterwards and stuff. And every season, that's been kind of the routine. So,
what's your favorite place to go eat at?
Stockton, there's not too many that's open that late at night. That's why we defaulted to
BJ's.
BJ's
Now.
I can't. I really can't.
We got to give bad review.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's
going to Yelp their
ass. One star on Yelp there.
Yeah, it's a rough one. I
Good
don't
food,
even,
rough parking lot.
Yeah, I'm not going to even DoorDash it anymore. That kind of stuff.
You could just roll through a Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah,
no
kidding.
I would.
So hey, where did you go after the Ripon Knights game?
BJ's.
In Modesto or Stockton?
Stockton.
Oh,
we drove all the way back home.
Okay.
And like I said, it's got a bar area, so we just go and we grab the beer and we grab something to eat real quick. Actually, that weekend, I think it was that weekend, we were in BJ's and it was like 11 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
And almost 11:30 as we're about to head out, and Nick and Nate Diaz and his pack walk in.
Really?
I swear to you. They walk in because his gym's down the street on Pacific Avenue over there, and they just happen to roll in there, and everyone's asking them, "Hey, can I get a picture? Hey, can you sign this for me?" and stuff. So it was funny because I'm sitting there, I'm facing the door, I see them walk in, I go, "Oh, holy crap, it's the Diaz brothers." And my dad's like, "What'd you say?" I was like, and they're walking right next to us. I go, "It's Nate Diaz," and he just turns and he looks at Nate Diaz. And then he just turns back and he looks at me and goes, "Oh." And he just And Nate looks at him eye to eye.
like,
and my
who?
dad just totally dogs him like he doesn't
Yeah,
even
like,
know who he is, but my dad
cool.
knows he.
Who?
He just didn't know how to
Yeah.
respond to that
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
He's just like,
Well, Coach
That's
Al
cool.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Al brushed elbows with the Diaz brothers a couple times.
yeah. Oh, funny. One more thing. The Nate Diaz, I actually, we played Lodi Huskies together.
Did you really?
Back, I didn't know at the time that
Yeah.
Nate Diaz was going to
Yeah.
be Nate Diaz, but yeah, the younger Diaz, we played football together.
Really?
No
Yeah,
kidding.
I
Your
got
same
that.
team?
I think he was just a level above me at the time.
So Nate's the younger one, or
Yeah,
He's the younger.
Nate's the
He's
younger
like
one. Yeah.
37. Well, I just watched the fight, so they said
Yeah, he's like 36 or
37.
37.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was on the level above me at the time. But yeah, well, I have that program for Lodi Huskies and Nate Diaz, so the picture of him. So
Was he a good football player?
not necessarily, not that I can remember.
He could take a tackle though.
No, he was one of
Take a
those.
hit.
He, from what I remember, he was kind of a problem kid then.
Oh, you don't say.
I'm sure. That's where he is. That's why he's where he's at now.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
thank goodness he was doing football
Yeah.
and those kinds of things because he could have been doing something else, right? Not as constructive. But if I remember, he was one of those kids that was always like the front of the runs and stuff like that, like the
Yeah.
opening runs and stuff. But I don't think he was like particularly like elite football player or anything
Yeah.
like that. I wouldn't say he was like a bad football player or nothing. But well, you heard grumblings, I got to watch out for these kids. They come from broken homes or whatever. I don't even remember what they were talking about at the time. But
Right.
From what my dad remembers, yeah, he says they're just kind of kids you just keep
Oh,
an
so
eye
your
on
dad
to make sure.
coached him?
No, he wasn't coaching at the time, but he I was fortunate enough. My dad went to practices.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he went to a lot of practices, and he hadn't actually. The first game he ever missed of me and my brother was because he had to coach another game.
Oh.
So he was coaching high school at the time, and he had missed our freshman game because he was.
What high school was he coaching?
He was coaching Tokay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we coached Tokay. Me and my brother coached Tokay for
Cool.
a number of years too, as well. Yeah, so.
Coach Mike, Coach Ralph. I love it that you. I still love it that you call your dad. Your dad and your brother.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you watch the Diaz fight then?
No.
No.
No, I
Well, he was at BJ's getting his shit broken
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I was a little sidetracked
Yeah,
that
yeah.
night, trying to take it all in what just happened.
Yeah. Well, that game was way early. That game would have been 2 hours before because that fight was like at 8, maybe 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And you were probably eating at like 10:30.
No, we were because the last game ended at around 6. We probably got out of the No, it actually got out a little early. It was like 5:30 when that last varsity game ended. We were in the restaurant at about 8 o'clock. And then it was about 8:20, 8:30, I think, when our stuff got taken. We didn't actually get out into the parking lot till about 9 p.m. that night. So, and then, like I said, I was planning on probably illegally watching that video anyway from
like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not really. I think I
You
pitched
paid?
in. I pitched
You
in.
paid on
Yeah.
that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know there was a way to illegally watch.
There isn't. We'll talk later.
Officially now.
But yes, I did run into the Diaz brothers. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I did run into them. And that story actually just got brought up this evening with CPAC and Justin Van Groningen.
So what? Okay, so you hung out with the one of them all night long. Don't tell the one about the Starbucks.
No.
That was dumb.
Well, the cool thing about him was that was the Monday after he beat Conor McGregor. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm up in Murata getting a coffee at Starbucks, doing a couple things. He walks up, sits down right next to me. The whole Starbucks is completely empty. I'm like, hey, dude. Great fight
Good
on
job,
Saturday
yeah.
night.
Nice job.
Guy.
Give me the old knuckles, huh? Dab me up, yo.
He's like, yeah, cool story, bro. Get away from me. But the other one was...
Is that what he said? Is that his response, Nate?
It was kind of like, yeah, cool, thanks.
They're socially awkward.
Oh, they are. They're yeah.
They're socially awkward.
But the other one is pretty
The
funny.
other one, though, was a full evening of hanging out with them and having a good time and buying drinks and taking shots. You would think
But
that
you're at a piano bar in San Francisco, right?
We're at a piano bar in San Francisco. You would think that he would be swarmed by his entourage, but he is just all by himself. And so we're just hanging out, talking.
And you're with who? You and Matt and Sonny?
Matt and Sonny. And,
this is before the bachelor party?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
piano bar stories. I keep getting these. I love them.
He's like kind of just leaning into our story, and we're like San Francisco, probably a gay guy, you know.
You wouldn't say that if he was sitting here.
Yeah,
we did though.
Oh yeah, no, they did. Yeah,
we did ask him,
which is hilarious.
We did ask him because he said I'm a UFC fighter. I said, bullshit, you know. Come on. Let me put you in a headlock.
He probably gets that all
I
the time.
wrestled my freshman year in high school. Get over here.
No, I told him I played men's volleyball in high school. Let me put you in a headlock. He's like, well, okay. So I put him in a
leg lock
headlock.
or headlock? What was it?
I put him in a headlock. He does like this counter. I'm like, that was all right, you know. I learned a couple moves in the Marine Corps. We did some hand-to-hand, not like jiu-jitsu like what he's perfected. Then I do, okay, they hear about this one. Like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. He's like, I told you guys I'm a UFC fighter. Like, all right, well, cool, you know, yeah.
He didn't tell you his name?
Well, he might have, but we didn't even know who.
You didn't know who Nick Diaz was?
No.
Okay.
Never
okay.
watched UFC in my whole entire life.
Oh, okay.
He could have told me that he was Hulk Hogan, and if I had never seen WWF, I wouldn't know who he is.
I got you.
So this guy's just an average Joe hanging out with us, having a good time, taking shots with us. And Sonny, he does say, like, hey, bro, just out of curiosity, not that I care, but, you know, we're in San Francisco. Are you gay, maybe? He's like, no. No, not at all.
Dude, I'm really surprised he didn't fire you guys up right then and there.
He was the nicest guy you ever met.
That's awesome. That is because he's...
And okay, get this. He was so nice that he's like, hey, are you guys going to Austin, Texas? I'm going to get a flight. I'll order a flight right now, and I'll go with you guys. Had I known this now, like, yeah, let's go.
He was going to the bachelor party with you?
Yeah. He was going to go.
And you guys told him to get screwed?
We didn't say anything. Matt's like, hey, dude, we got a stage 5 clinger on our hands.
We got to shake this guy.
Oh, my God. Super nice guy. Next morning, we wake up. Matt's like, dude, I got a friend request on Facebook. This guy's got a blue check mark by his name. He's like, this guy was the real deal. He's like, I think I got his phone number.
We fucked up.
Then I start watching YouTube videos. I'm like, oh my goodness.
No.
This guy's doing the double bird to a dude, slapping somebody in the face, smoking a J. Like, oh, we would have had a blast with this guy. Dang it. You guys screwed up.
But what was his parting comment to you guys?
I don't even remember what it
Remember
was.
what he said something about a salad?
Oh, yeah. Well, all three of us are overweight. And he's like, I said, hey, can I get a picture with you? Because in case you really are a UFC fighter, I'd like to have proof that I was hanging out with a UFC fighter. And he's like, all right, bro, but here, make a deal with me. You guys will start like eating salads.
I fucking love it. I love it.
He's like, I'm a vegetarian, and I would encourage you guys to do the same, but I know you guys aren't going to. How about just toss in a salad every once in a while?
Whoa, if that wasn't gay, I don't know what
He
is.
didn't say he was going to toss a salad. He just said,
No, not toss a
Oh,
salad.
that's what you said. I'm pulling on what you said.
Toss
Toss in a salad.
In a
Oh,
salad.
totally different.
Yes,
Totally
sorry.
different.
But yes.
tomato.
So I hope he doesn't listen to this. I hope he doesn't track me down.
Oh.
That was if you are listening
If he
to it,
does
that
now,
was
Nate or Nick, he does know you're a UFC fighter now. If you're
Yes.
listening, Nick, it's rest assured he knows now.
we can have you on the podcast next time.
And Nick, he's had a salad once.
I did have a salad, a lot of ranch dressing.
Extra ranch.
But that was a really good counter to my headlock that I put you in, so I appreciate it. But
That was great.
yeah, that was probably 7 years ago.
That's a good story. That was a really good story.
I think I've told it once.
He's still
on the
only
podcast.
had like 2 or 3 salads since then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as you can tell.
And how many have you tossed?
2 or 3.
2 or 3. Okay. Just
So let's hope that the story that I told last time is pretty close to that one because
I've heard that
it's all
story several
documented.
times. It's
pretty close.
It's
Oh,
that was a good one though. That was a good version.
Yeah,
That's a great story.
The other one, it didn't go off very well. I actually told him the story at Starbucks, and that's why I said cool story, because he said, "Cool story, bro."
This is probably because
you're like,
crossfaded, high, drunk at
so
the same
I met
time.
your
What you
brother.
guys wanna
So
know?
when you told Nick you met his brother, Nick, I met your brother.
I said, "Hey, how's it going? Great fight on Saturday. Funny story. I met your brother in a situation kind of like this. We were in a bar in San Francisco, and we blah blah blah, and we didn't know he was a UFC fighter, and blah." He's like, "Turns out he was." I looked at the YouTube videos. Like, cool story, bro. Just waited for his number to be called.
And that was
He
as
was
nice
out.
as he was going to be that day,
Hope
too.
see you later.
Yeah. Oh, he had a really hot chick that walked in with him too. Blonde chick.
I believe it.
Yeah,
He
imagine
just
that.
beat Conor
What a
McGregor.
tomcat.
He probably had no idea what her name was.
Could have been. I don't know.
He's probably trying to ditch her in the parking lot. Murata.
they were both-
Benjamin Holtz down the road. You can get
Yeah.
a ride down there at Wiener Schnitzel.
They were both wearing the same shirts. It was like the respect shirts.
Oh, yeah.
This is like his logo, I guess. So they were both wearing the same shirts. I think he's got a shop somewhere around there. I don't know where it's at, but anyways. You guys got any more things we want to talk about? We're pushing a couple hours here. Anything else we want to bring up?
Well, what do you think there, Coach Eli?
I'm whatever you guys talk about. I'm good. Keep talking youth football all day. You know that. I don't care.
I didn't know if somebody's got to get going home because it's like 10:30 at night. No, we're good. Matt's going to drive all the way back to Stockton.
And that go-kart only goes like
Matt, so
It's going to take me like it's going to take me
Matt,
2
not
hours
trying
to get there.
mid-post, but what do you do for a living?
Hey, Eli can bring him home. We can put him back in
Oh
his
yeah,
truck.
I'll take him home.
What do I do for a living? I am
You don't have to say where you work.
No, not where you work.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living? I mean,
I'm a training manager. So,
Oh, so you train kids?
I train adults in a
Adults?
factory. Yeah.
Oh,
let's put it that way.
okay.
So I train a team of trainers who train adults in a factory, basically.
so why didn't you bring your dad and brother with you tonight? They couldn't make it.
So
We couldn't get all three coaches here?
One of the things.
I didn't
Well, no,
invite
my
him.
brother actually lives out.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, my twin brother.
ask him.
Yeah, my twin brother lives out in Valley Springs. Chances are he wasn't going to make it.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
rarely part of the crew, at least physically, but
Yeah.
virtually like once a week we get a
Okay.
chance to chat with him. He's got the full-blown family thing going
Is
on.
he coaching up there in Valley Springs?
Not yet, but he's
Not
got
yet.
2 young boys that are waiting
Okay.
to come into
So
that
what's he
5
looking
and
at?
6-year-old range where
Is
he
he
can start
looking at
coaching. And I'm
AMA?
sure
AMA, Argonaut. What's he looking at?
probably Calaveras.
Oh, damn! Really?
Probably.
God, Calaveras.
It's just I think that's where his
Good Lord.
that's where his
You do
connections
better.
are kind of.
No, I got you.
AMA's
no,
better.
No, AMA's better.
Okay,
But
I
what
was about to
surprised me
say.
this year is AMA has such huge numbers.
I'm
They
glad.
have huge numbers, which surprised me.
Youth football in general, the fastest I've ever
It's
seen
growing big
teams
time.
fill
Yes.
out,
Yep.
and the bounce back from
Yeah.
COVID.
Big time.
I'm super stoked
Well,
on that.
Not the bounce back from COVID, but the bounce back from not that to take it lightly at all, but the CTE scare, the concussion scare of
Yeah.
8 years ago, 9 years
It
ago, when it
hit
really
hard.
hit hard. We were losing kids at the Chiefs like crazy. I don't want my kid to play football.
Yeah.
It's so dangerous. He's gonna play soccer. Are you fucking kidding me? Do your research. There's no helmets in soccer, and they're running full speed at each other. They're at each other every day, full speed in soccer.
I would always tell parents, I was like, look, the technology is catching up. Like there for a long time, it was kind of. I mean, when you played, like it was kind of a barbaric sport. You got your bell rung, maybe you were even knocked all the way out. You picked up the phone, you got on the sideline. Do you know your name? Do you know where you're at?
Many
Great,
times.
good, go
Yeah.
back in. Right? Nobody knew
Nobody knew.
the long-term ramifications. But since the awareness around it has come up, we know that it's first of all, it's not just football. It's actually more bicycling and the X Games
cheerleading.
sports and
Yes.
dirt bike. Yeah.
Dirt biking's
Yeah.
horrible. I dirt bike here all the time.
We're also finding out it's not
You can tell.
it's not
I agree. It wasn't football ever. I agree.
we actually had a podcast about this too, about injuries as it relates to like weight limits and stuff like that, where weight limits has actually no bearing on the amount of injuries or severity of injuries that are happening. We found out that the bigger kids are the ones getting hurt more often. And we found out that older lighters, when they were hitting younger kids, because their ability for coordination, body coordination, and speed, and the ability to apply force, that was hurting younger kids. But for the most part, there wasn't a drastic reduction in anything concussion related. It was actually more lower extremities. Like it's always been knees and ankles and stuff like that. They usually get busted up. But technology is catching up to the point where like the helmets are way lighter now. They're easier to control. They're much better. They're much better designed. The shoulder pads fit better now. They used to be gigantic. You had neck rolls that are no longer a thing anymore. Flak jackets, all this other stuff, and the equipment's caught up. And it's drastically reduced the amount of injuries.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure the injuries are what changed people's mind. I think the whole, and it's good to see is the whole football's boomed, even NFL. College has boomed the last 5-10 years. It's just it's crazy. We look forward to football now 10 months a year.
Yep.
You might take 2 months off to go to the lake, maybe. But you're thinking football 10 months a year now.
Yep.
And it wasn't like that ever before. I mean, the internet helps it out. NFL Network helps it out. But the resurgence in youth football, when I look across, I mean, the Knights have fully loaded teams.
Right.
The Chiefs have fully loaded teams, right? This is one town. There's always kids playing ball and ripping.
Yep.
But you roll up to AMA, and they roll out with 40 kids in a novice league.
Right.
I'm totally impressed.
Only a few thousand people live up there.
Totally impressed because there wasn't. I was part of the Chiefs 2 years ago. It wasn't 2-3 years ago. We were playing them at novice level at a 7-on-7.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't fill the squad.
Right.
So the resurgence in football, I mean, it's beautiful to see.
It is.
It really is. I mean, parents buying in again that, hey, your kids are protected. Your kids want to play football. It's a protective sport. Really, that's soccer. And those individual sports, wrestling, they're great. Those are great sports for you. But there's a lot of sports where you get head injuries constantly.
Yeah.
And it's way worse than football. Football is a controlled element. Like Alan said earlier, if you have your 6-year-old wants to play football, let him play football at 6. Don't make him wait until he's 12 to play football because now he's going to play against other 12-year-olds who have been playing for 6 years.
Right.
And they know how to lay the wood.
Right.
They know how to hit.
Yep.
And your 12-year-old really doesn't. And I see it every year when I coach. But I always encourage parents, don't be scared of your kid playing football.
Yeah.
He's playing with other kids the same size.
I mean, I don't know if we will, but we might see a split in youth football where you have recreational football and then competitive football. I mean, if anything, look for that split. If you're looking for, hey, have a little bit of fun, don't take it so seriously. You don't even have to show up on time.
So you
or
mean
to
a
all
lighter
practice.
league? A lighter league?
Yeah, like just for fun kind of thing, like
So
almost like a backyard
flag
football.
More like a flag football.
Yeah, more
setup.
like
like a
and-
rec league. Kind
yeah,
of thing.
exactly. It would be purely recreational,
Yeah.
right? Where the coaches are only doing 2 hours a day, right? But that's not the way it is right now, especially in the 209. We're highly competitive here in the 209. I know we get dogged on by the Bay Area and by Sacramento leagues and all this stuff, but there's no one doing what you guys are doing or what we were doing in the Bay Area. There's nobody that's doing that. There's nobody that's doing that second. Like the 209 is old school and new school all mashed together. I mean, I don't know if people realize that UOP back in the 40s and 50s, D1
was powerhouse.
Yeah.
We were
Powerhouse.
nationally competitive.
My uncle was their quarterback.
Pete Carroll comes, from there. Amos Stagg, Gruden. There's so many big time football players that are coming all over the 209 from that area, and it just kind of dwindled away. Obviously, they got rid of the football program for money or for whatever reasons, but yeah, 209 as far as the youth and the high school stuff, that never went away. We're still highly competitive, very well coached
there's a lot of
all the
state
way through and
championships
through.
come out of the valley.
Yeah.
A lot of state championships come out of this valley. It's good, tough football here.
Yeah.
It might be smaller town football.
It is.
But I mean, my son graduated last year. We go to a Bay Area all-invite game, the Bay Area Classic, right? He got invited from Sacramento to come play for them in the Bay Area. Well, he gets defensive MVP of the game.
Yeah.
And we go there, and I'm thinking, me and my kids, we all go to watch my son play. And my other sons have played ball. They're all big kids. They've all got awards playing football. We go there like, man, Bay Area game is going to be a badass game. These kids are going to be fast, flying around. No, the Valley kids worked them.
Yeah.
Just hard-nosed, competitive. Don't let the mouth run. You don't want to talk too much.
They got their brand, we got our brand.
Yeah, and it was good to see because I went there going, hey, I'm glad my kid's playing, but I'm going to see some badass Bay Area kids.
Right.
Let's see what the Bay Area has, right?
Yep.
We won the game. We worked them over. It was good to see, but I was impressed by the Valley kids. Like, it's just hard-nosed football out here.
Right.
It's hard-nosed and maybe a little more disciplined.
That's what I guess I mean by that comes from the coaching and that style that kind of trickles down all the way through. Older brothers, dads even ran the same offenses and stuff like that, and now we have hybrids or evolutionized styles of those same old school offenses. I know they call us old school and you guys are still running wing tee and all that stuff. It's like first of all, we can run an offensive system.
Right.
What you guys are running is I-backs when you want to run and shotgun Hail Marys when you want to pass, and that's all you got.
You're letting us know what we're doing.
Right.
Now we're going to pass. Now we're going to run.
Yeah.
We know.
And that's why, to them, that's why smaller, slower, let's not mince words, wider kids are beating, these very, very talented kids out in the Bay Area.
Yep.
And we're just poking fun at the coaches.
I think
We're
a lot
not
of
poking
coaching.
fun at the kids. We're poking fun at the coaches.
Yes.
We're going to try and out-athlete you, and the other team's going to try out and scheme you.
Yep.
So we're going to coach you out, or you're going to try to, and ultimately, coaching's probably going to win out 9 times out of 10.
More often than not, it does.
Yep.
And it infuriates in the no end, and I get a little bit of joy out of that, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Because we recognize the chess game that's going on behind the scenes.
Right.
And they're still watching highlight films.
There we go, yeah.
They're stuck on YouTube. No offense.
No, I get it. I know what I get. What they want is the highlights. That's why that's still free, and that's why that's not there. It's like, they like it.
Well,
I
it's
guess.
funny.
It's
Like,
cool.
Alan hit me up last night. Hey, would you like to do the podcast? I'd love to. He goes, this is what they do. He sent me a video of what you did. He sent me a Ripon Chiefs first Echelon Cougars.
Yes,
Which
that
had
was
to be
Super
really
Bowl film,
new
yeah.
because they just changed the name to Cougars, I think, last year.
Yeah, that was last year.
Okay, so I'm watching, I'm like, this, and the way you edited it, I'm listening, I'm like, this is fucking badass. Who are these guys 40 and Ethan played? I'm like, man, I'd love to see my kid on YouTube with this shit right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He's making all the fucking plays back. I'm like, this has been great to see my kid, Yeah. But what you guys do is great. I appreciate it a lot.
Well, we appreciate you guys.
It's fantastic. I hope you get your equipment back. Honestly, I did donate, but I'm gonna donate a little more now. I'm just going to donate a little more. But yeah,
I gotta sell you.
I'm gonna do a little more now. Yeah, but no, what you do is great. The video today, I was totally impressed. I really was. The first thing in my mind was like, I wish they were around when Ethan played. And I'm like, fuck, man.
So go back and find some old
Ripon
Ripon Indians.
I'll send you some video.
Ripon Chiefs stuff.
Ripon Chiefs is in there quite a few times, so
Ethan Day.
you can find it.
So as a whole, though, Ripon should be pretty proud because you guys have, what'd you say, all those teams to pick from, and you picked last year Ripon versus Escalon, 2 years in a row.
Big game.
Ripon versus Central.
Yeah,
We have
nice
Ripon
versus
Chiefs
Central,
versus Amador Junior Buffaloes from last year, too, as well. We have that game that's out there, too, as well. That wasn't as fun because I think there was a couple games that were competitive, but Ripon
pounced them.
Yeah, a little bit.
Fucking worked
Yeah, it was a
them.
little
And
lopsided
Amarillo
in
should
some
be
games.
better. Amarillo should be a lot better than they are.
Can we
had piss poor coaching.
Can we ask you as a third party? No,
So I'm the current president of the Ripon Knights. Coach Eli here is the former president of the Ripon Chiefs. Although he has been a Ripon Knights coach, and I have been a Ripon Chiefs player. So there's a lot of crossbreeding.
Your
there.
dad let you play Chiefs?
That was the only game in town.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are you
you're
kidding me?
I didn't know.
Tim would have.
I know Tim would have made you play. I forgot, but there was no Knights back then. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Here's the kicker, and Fred might not want me to say this, but Fred played Chiefs football when he was in high school.
I did.
You were older, lighter?
I was a freshman.
You were skinny?
I was, yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
They were letting
a buck
freshmen play
25.
ball.
And wait, a buck 25,
Hey, that-
older, lighter, and called snail. Guy, I'm so fucking confused.
I was a center. I didn't have to run very far.
That's crazy. I played center in high school freshman year at maybe a buck 25.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Sorry to call you out, but
Thank
I played
you.
men's
appreciate that,
volleyball.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
So I never played one snap of football. The first time I ever put a helmet on was when we did pugil sticks in Marine Corps boot camp. That's the only time I've ever put a helmet on.
Pugil sticks like tummy sticks?
Same thing. Same time.
So I guess it's kind of close. I don't know.
Yeah. Big tummy sticks.
Big tummy sticks.
All right. Well,
So go ahead. What were you going to ask him? What was your question? You were going to ask him a question.
I don't know what he's going to ask. I was going to ask because I like to look over to Fred to see how he's gauging me. Like, I might look over him. I might start the question, and then Fred will do like the, or maybe he'll do the. Where are you going with this?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've watched the Knights play in their. You've watched that whole league. You've watched the Chiefs play in their whole league. Is there a huge difference in competitiveness?
Are we talking this year, last year?
This
year is tough
overall.
because I haven't seen Motherlode yet.
Let's say overall.
I would say in the most recent years, Trans Valley Youth Football League, at least in your side of the division, what's that, Pacific or Atlantic?
I don't know. What
I think it's...
I don't even know.
But I'll just say your side of the league, right? Those group of
the upper
teams,
division,
right? The upper division,
yeah,
right? That is more competitive than Motherlode. I'm actually really disappointed in Motherlode in recent years because it used to be a lot of veteran coaches, much like SinCal, very traditional offenses and defenses. Kids absolutely knew what they're doing. They didn't have a ton of speed, but they had a ton of size. But they executed very, very well. And you knew the coaches knew each other and they played each other very well.
Yeah.
That kind of went away. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if the economies in those areas pulled these people back into work, COVID. I don't know what pulled these old coaches away from the game, but it didn't backfill. So they're kind of a step behind a lot of these other leagues, not just Trans Valley Youth Football, Mize.
Right, yeah.
I think we rated, and they're probably going to hate me for this, but Motherlode was the bottom half of the leagues last year when we did league strengths.
Yeah.
Last year, Motherlode was unfortunately towards the bottom. When we went to go see Ripon Chiefs in Amador early last year, we were very disappointed at how far behind they were as far as just fundamentals, techniques, and schemes.
Yeah.
They were so far behind. But the good news was by the time we saw them in Super Bowl, it looked like Motherlode again. It took a while for them to catch up to get to that form. But it used to be an all season long kind of thing.
Yeah.
But right now, I would say Trans Valley Youth, at least on your side of the division, definitely one of the stronger ones.
Yeah.
Even compared to all the other ones. Like SinCal, crazy competitive.
Sure.
A lot of people Delta Youth Football League in typical likes to dog everybody else, but they haven't played anybody else, and they don't really watch anybody else.
Are the Rebels still in the Delta Youth Football League?
No,
They're
they are now
disbanded?
they are. I think eventually they became the Dublin Fighting Irish. They became that feeder program to that high school over there, and they're okay. They're pretty middle of the road in the Delta Youth Football League, if I'd say. The varsity looks pretty good this year, so they're
They
competitive.
have numbers over there. The Bay always has numbers.
Not as much as I don't know what's happening.
Really?
They used to. I agree with you. They used to 45, 50 kids deep every level. I remember growing up, and that was the way it used to be. That's not the way it is now anymore at all. I have no idea what happened to that or why that's happened, but they are not filling out up and down. They're actually one of the lighter as far as quantity of kids in the Delta Youth Football League. So I don't know what's going on with that. So, but Delta Youth Football League and all these other leagues, I encourage everyone to go play each other. I mean, that's where that whole conversation gets solved right then and there.
Yeah.
And everyone can quabble over, well, your weight limits and our age limits. It's like, it doesn't matter. Your older kids are going up. Their younger kids are staying down. It's all relative. Everyone's got typically 4 levels in which they play. The 1 year of age difference, it's not enough. It's just not enough. Even the weight limits is not enough.
I disagree when it comes to the kids that should be in high school. When you have a high school freshman that's playing against 8th graders, there's a big difference there.
Yeah.
Or especially playing against a combination of 7th, 8th graders. You have 7th and 8th grade together playing against a kid or a team that has 4 or 5 freshmen.
Right.
That's a big difference. Those kids.
I only disagree with you in the chance it depends on the age of the freshman. Right? Because if you're 14 years old and you're a freshman, or you're 14 years old and you're 8th grade, you've lived the same amount of life. You've played the same amount of football.
That's a good point because I wasn't necessarily an older lighter. There was kids on my team that were actually older than I was.
Yeah, and
who were in 8th grade.
I think what hurts most about having freshmen play youth football is that it hurts the freshman programs at the high school level, particularly in the Stockton area. And so the leniency to take on these freshman football players is a couple different reasons. One, either they know that freshman is not going to make grades because they typically it's a rough thing in the Stockton for them there is, and they get slaughtered. Like Bear Creek, Edison, Stagg, they are different teams after grades come out. They are very different teams.
The playoffs don't look so good for those teams.
Yeah. And then another thing too is because they kind of know this, unfortunately, they're not coaching up and they're not teaching up to retain these kids, and the coaches aren't actually putting in more hours that they need to retain those amount of kids and make sure they make grades, is they are sacrificing the freshman level and moving everybody up to JV. Mm-hmm. And then if you have smaller freshman kids or younger freshman kids, they're typically they're not going to make that leap. Yeah. You're talking 14-year-olds now playing against 15 and 16-year-olds. That gap only grows the older you get.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
And you have people that are very serious about their football careers by the time they're JV varsity. They're thinking about college. They're thinking, what do they have to do? They start weightlifting. Puberty's in high gear. They're packing on good weight, controlling the weight, becoming better coordinated, all those things. And it's not rec ball anymore. It's not youth football. So I think that's the downfall by having freshmen allowed to play at the youth level. But I kind of see the argument like you're not going to be able to please everybody. Somebody's going to fall through the cracks, whichever way you go with it.
When we played, the year we were in DISA, years ago we were in DISA, and we caught a team, the Pittsburgh team. Yep. They had the older, lighter rule, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they had kids who were playing Friday night and Saturday.
No, you can do that?
They couldn't, but they were doing it.
Oh. Yeah, those things were happening. I remember there was. I won't say that
you're getting smashed by kids like, fuck. I don't care how light that kid is. No one can catch him, okay? And he's got a beard. I don't care how much he weighs. That kid's not supposed to be on the field with an 8th grader. There's no way.
Yeah. And there's a tragic situation. Another way, when I say fall between the cracks, then there was another team, I won't mention the team name, but they had a kid come play for the youth team from high school because the freshman squad got cut. Right? They just disbanded, and he had played like 1 or 2 games with the high school, and there was no more team. They had moved everybody up, and he decided, I'm not going to go play JV. I'm going to come back and I'll play youth football.
Because he didn't want to play up.
He didn't want to play
He
up.
wanted to beat up little kids and not get beat up by the bigger
He was
kids.
just as old as the other kids. He was a younger freshman,
His dad
right?
probably made that decision. Like,
Right.
I want my son to come
It was one of those things.
be the superstar.
There wasn't technically a rule against it in the youth football side, but they still got penalized for it. Eventually, they left that league and went to another league, just because, they were winning even without him. But when they got him, it was a nice little extra that they had. But not a game changer, I would say, but it was something they could get you on off the field if they couldn't get you on the field. That's the way I felt about it. But I kind of felt bad for the kid, and also as coaches, you have to be very aware. You have to know, and it's kind of a rough expectation for youth football coaches to know the high school rules, because if they are playing for club teams while they're in high school, you need to look at the eligibility rules, because you could be messing with the kid's future by doing those kinds of things.
You weren't allowed to play for club. If you are in high school season.
Not during the actual football season,
That's
I don't
what I'm
think.
saying.
Yeah, if it's outside the season
so
and you're doing
kids are playing
spring
year-round football?
No, we're talking same season, same fall season. Went to play high school and then came back to play for youth. Yeah, see, and that's why I said I get it. The kid wants to play, and you're willing to accommodate that. But you got to do your due diligence, right? You have to protect the kid at all times. And if you're going to mess with his eligibility or his future, or mess up his chances of scholarships and all that stuff because he played club ball when he wasn't supposed to according to CIF rules, you could be jeopardizing a lot of things for him just because the intentions were good, but unfortunately the results are bad. I mean, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, that kind of deal.
Yep.
So coaches need to realize, like I said, it's not about winning and losing in championships. If you're so tunnel vision and focusing on that, you could be doing a lot of harm. You really could. Not intentionally, but because your focus is wrong and the reason why you're doing it it's wrong.
Well, first off, you're not looking out for the kid.
Yeah.
You should know that kid can't play.
Well, the thing is, they don't know. But you should ask those questions at least. Can this kid play? That's the only question you have to answer at that point.
They don't want to know those answers.
I know, and that and the motives, like I don't want to attribute bad motives to anybody, but if you're in a position where you don't want to know the answer to something, come on.
Yeah.
There's that gut feeling that sits in for everybody when you know you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Or might be doing something wrong.
It's like a bad
So you need to
marriage.
address it.
You just don't want to know about it. You know what I mean?
So speaking of high school, any intentions on getting into high school? Watching or recording high school games?
The rules in CIF for media is you have to be kind of known, and then you have to apply for passes and stuff to really be able to float around like we do. Unless you were going to do just one school, do NFHS, and get in that way, that'd be okay, but it's very limited to your audience who you're going to be able to do, right? You're only doing one school versus all the other schools.
Their opponents,
But if
yeah.
you're going to be an actual media company, you have to have some clout, unfortunately, for CIF to even give you a look. They're going to give the news stations, KCRA, the Bay Area News Networks, and all that stuff.
They're going to get their passes.
All they're going to say is, hey, I know a guy, and they can get us into the CIF State Championship. I'm surprised I didn't get busted because I did do a CIF State Championship between De La Salle and Centennial when it was at Sac State. And this was when I was doing the phone stuff, and I blew that news network out the water as far as viewership goes. Like I had thousands of people watching that game because they said I thought it was a compliment. They said the commentary was better, first of all.
Yeah.
And then they said just the fact that I knew the game, or a coach knows the game better than some commentator. You know what I mean?
Of course you
Right.
do.
Right.
Better than Del Rogers? Imagine fucking that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Tell me how you really feel about the
my
Niners.
God. Good Lord.
Okay. Del Rogers or Jim Crandall?
Oh, I like Jim Crandall.
Fox
Only
40?
because it reminds me of Mr. Rogers. That's why I like Jim Crandall. I gotta go pee.
So Jim Crandall's Fox 40, right? Still?
Yeah.
Or was.
Yeah.
That's his
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Del Rogers, KCRA.
I think so.
Did Del Rogers, he played for the Niners, right?
Mhm.
And then Crandall, he played, or just
doubt
an
it.
expert?
Yeah.
Just
I'm
an
not sure.
expert?
Just an expert, yeah, sure.
Okay. I like his haircut. I like his approach.
Okay.
You notice I'm never in front of the camera usually when we're doing commentary. I was like, they don't want to see me. They don't care.
But I think you guys got a pretty good niche there. I mean, you're really the only game in town.
Does anybody else do this?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of other.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of other streamers that are out there.
Really?
Particularly Southern California does a good amount of good quality work. That CLA Sports Recruits does a good job. I don't know if you guys have ever heard Under the Radar. They're probably the biggest in youth sports. Under the Radar, if you hear them, they do kind of nationwide. What separates us from them is we're from the sky, right?
Okay.
Where everybody else does it on the field. And don't get me wrong, the on the field video stuff, that's pretty cool. Like it's very entertaining to watch. But the reason why I can capture so much versus them is because they miss the shots. I don't miss the shots.
Right.
You should see how pissed I get when I miss a shot. Because I don't miss a play.
But on the field stuff, if you don't have the right angle, you don't see anything.
You have to have multiple cameramen on the field,
Sure.
basically minimum 3 in order to get every single play.
So kind of like how I have it set up with WeCam.
Mm-hmm.
You can have multiple cameras, but they have to be streaming together. And you have to have a stream deck to where you're watching all 4 of them at the same time, and you're switching back and forth to the best shot.
But now you're talking like full-on production crew.
Yeah, no, you're talking, that's
Especially if
making
you're
light
gonna do
work
that on
of
the
my
fly.
system. Yeah, that's light work. And trust me,
Yeah.
I've looked into it, and it's a whole nother level, right? You're talking like the Fox 40, ESPN, they have that equipment that
Right.
runs that kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, just being on the field and capturing the shots, I think the reason why I'm able to capture a lot of these shots is because I know what offense you guys are running. I know what defense you guys are
Right.
running. I know how the plays are being set up. So reverses and cross bucks and counters and halfback passes, they're not a surprise to me. I don't miss
Yeah,
those things because
yeah.
I know they're coming, right? And I could see it being set up through my frame as it's happening. So even though I know where the ball is at, I'm looking at wings coming back around, tight ends crashing, guards pulling, all that stuff, and I know how to follow the ball
Well, you
without
know the
actually
game.
zeroing in on it. Yeah,
You know the
because I
game.
know the game,
You know the game.
right? So
Yeah.
it makes it so much easier to capture all these plays that I don't miss. If you're
Yeah.
somebody on the field, not only have you to go through all these different people, battle for jock for position on the sidelines with coaches and players and stuff to get these shots, the way that the camera works with focus is really tough if you're trying to tunnel through a bunch of people as the camera wants to
Right,
grab
right.
everything else. But if you're from the top, it's much easier to focus on the group rather than individuals as they're going through.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty on the field, don't get me wrong. The next step, if I was able to make the next step, is to actually have that field element on the field.
Right.
But it would take a team
Oh,
of
yeah.
people
Yeah.
and just a buttload of equipment to
you
make
might
it
You're
have
work.
talking
to
like
get-
tripling your
Your
easy,
crew.
at
At least.
Coach Mike's
At
going to have
least.
to move down.
We've been working on him for
brothers.
years.
Yeah,
We've been
yeah.
working on him for years, and my little brother. But they know the commitment. My family is, and even with my dad, like we're both feet in. If we're gonna do something, we want to do it to the best of our absolute ability.
Yeah.
We don't want to, half-ass it. We're not gonna say, man, whatever happens. Like every time we're trying to get better. Every year we're trying to get better at doing this. And my brother won't commit to that because he knows if he's gonna commit, he's gonna be the same way. He has to go
right.
full out, and he's got larger commitments in life
Sure.
that he can't sideline. So I understand that part of it too. I'd love to have him because
Yeah.
he'd be, obviously my twin. You'd be able to do this no problem.
So, do you have a third headset and microphone?
I have.
Did you used to have a third? Sorry.
No. Okay, so I have I have one extra shotgun mic, one extra lapel mic, but that's about it. And then I had 2 headsets and 1 shotgun from the camera that actually went to the field. So we were capturing 3 different sounds. We were 2 different commentators, and then the shotgun mic was capturing the sound from the field, and we could adjust the
Really?
volumes. Yeah,
But
So-
you weren't picking up the music in my announcing.
no, that's because
Yeah.
that's
It's
because
ridiculous.
Not what I
So
was going
one
at.
of the problems we had in the Ripon game too, actually, because it was so hot, that blower that's on the field, our shotgun mic was getting drowned out by the blower on the field
was
because we
my
were.
bad.
Oh, the bit.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
we get that. So it wasn't by the time the 14U game come on, you'll notice that the audio is much different because
We turned
the
it
blower turned off, and now we could capture the sounds on the field
okay.
because that shotgun mic that's going out to the field is actually bypassing like anything that's coming from behind
the
it.
audio
It's
behind
not
you?
going to capture it. It's going to go right to the source on the field, and it's going to try to pick that up, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then we can block out at least a little bit of things around us. We can turn ourselves up if we're getting drowned out by announcing or music or whatever it might be, and we can turn that shotgun mic down if we're capturing too much field noise too as well. So we can actually balance it as we go, and we spend probably a solid half hour in sound check right before the first game. It's a battle every time. We have those settings on that roadcaster change every time we go out. It's never the same.
Right.
So yeah, it's funny. We have our little sound check routine that we go through every game.
Well, you guys did a good job because I would say that probably you would have a situation if you were hearing music come through because you got copyright situation.
We get a lot of copyright situations for sure. We can capture 2 seconds of the wrong song and boom, it'll go down.
You gotta.
We'll have to either edit it out or whatever. But what we did this year to kind of curtail that a little bit is because the live replay system, we moved to the members only stuff. So we actually don't care if it gets copyright hit or not.
Oh, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, there you go.
Well, it still gets copyright hit. We can't monetize it, but if you're paying for our videos, I'm not going to give you ads. So I turn the ads off.
Right.
So, I mean, I just figured commercial free, straight through. I mean, why not? And then whatever music happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I could buy the game for $40 Vimeo.
Which is the highest quality that you could possibly get. That's the true 1080 highest bit rate that you can pull, even higher than YouTube.
So I've been flirting with that because, like you guys said, I could have my sons, both of my junior novice game and novice game for the rest of my life in the highest quality. Because you wish that you could have seen Ethan's game.
You're right.
And these were badass games. We went to overtime. This is the first overtime the Knights have ever had. And we went into overtime, and we snuck it out somehow, but I could have that forever in the highest quality.
Right. So you're getting the 1080p at a much higher bit rate out of Vimeo, and you can download it and send it wherever you want. If you were to try to peel it off of YouTube, like even kind of the Sketchway, which I don't actually care about, but if you were to pull that off of YouTube and download it, it's maybe 720 and it's highly compressed.
Do you
so
get
the quality
a
goes
notification
down
if that happens?
No. The only way.
So you didn't see when I did that.
Good.
I know it happens.
That may have helped.
I know it happens. I've had people post my videos one for one everywhere else. I actually don't really care. Sometimes I'm watermarked and it has my logo still on there. So I know it's going to happen. I'm not going to fight it like Dana White. Like you're just attracting way too much attention and it's just going to get worse. But I know that if it's like a keepsake kind of thing, you're going to want the highest quality stuff.
I'd rather pay the $40 all day long.
Yeah.
And you got it forever.
Right.
And it's not like a weird, sketchy way of downloading it. You have it. And if ever something happens to it, I could text you and be like, hey, dude, any way I could help me out on re-uploading.
Oh, and I can get you an exact link right over, download it. Even if we have to circumvent Vimeo, I still have the back. Thank God that didn't get taken. I have backups for everything.
Is $40 a lifetime?
No, just for that game.
Just for that game.
Just for that
Just
game.
for that game.
I buy that game.
Okay.
Us beating Central in overtime for $40 forever. Forever.
Is that worth it?
Is it worth it? Are you kidding me? Me as a
kid
dad
was watching it today.
Oh yeah,
It depends.
100%.
It depends.
I still have I have cousins that played in Escalon. They still tell me about 80% of the games that they've ever played.
Yeah.
Do you think they wouldn't have bought?
Wouldn't you have to watch their videos?
I would never watch.
Do you want
their
to subject
videos.
your future cousins to your son, force them to watch videos of him play ball?
They would watch their own videos for the rest of their life.
Okay.
That's how the Escalon Cougar Pride is.
Oh, I know how Cougar Pride is. Yeah.
They're very they're
Cougar
very
Pride.
proud.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm saying is my kids will have that for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They could show every next girlfriend they have for the next 20 years.
Make their
until they
kids
get married.
watch it till they're
Make
dead.
their kids watch it.
I agree.
It ain't going
I
anywhere.
agree.
So that's what I'm saying. For $40, and they're willing to scrape up their own, whatever they earn for
Collect
making
cans.
their bed.
Yep.
You know,
Pick
they're
up dog shit.
They're willing to pay that to have that for the rest
For
of their
sure.
lives.
For sure.
I guarantee. My kid was watching it this morning.
And it depends on, like I said, who thinks it's enough to buy. Like I guess it depends on the situation. That's why we do it in so many different ways. The YouTube membership, $5 a month. A lot of people get that membership as coaches just for the cut-ups. They don't actually want to watch the full live replay and commentary. They could care less about it. But I broke it down because I know coaches like to watch the cuts. They want one play to the next play to the next play as game film.
But we want to see the formation.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys are able to see that, stop it, say, okay, that's a formation.
Yep.
Here's the motion, rewind, fast forward, all that stuff. And those cut-ups cut all the fluff out. You don't care about the sound. You don't care about the cut-ups or the highlights. You want to see every single play, good, bad, and the ugly, right?
Yeah.
So they have that on the membership, too, for YouTube.
So the free highlights, they cut out the formations.
Oh.
So it just goes straight from
Play to play. Highlight reel.
Yeah.
Highlight reel.
There's no formations. You don't see any motion. You don't see
That's for moms and dads. That's not for coaches.
It's pure entertainment stuff. And it's actually, you don't want that stagnant between every play because it kills the pace of the highlight video.
Right.
The reason why you can elicit some of that emotional reaction is if you can match the pace of the video to the music that you're working with, which is a whole other element that I've been trying to get better at. But if you can have the music hit at certain points that the play hits too as well, it helps. But if you're slowing the play down between every single play, you can actually see in the YouTube analytics where it drops off. And it's usually at those slow points in the video and stuff where they're waiting for action to happen. So you don't need the whole play. You just need, sometimes you don't even need half the play.
Yeah.
You only need a part of the play. And it helps keep the video moving forward.
Yeah, I would agree. It catches your eye, keeps you going. You zoom it in, you zoom it out, you reverse, you fast forward. It's pretty cool. So, anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean,
No, I think no.
I think we've hit a lot of
I'm waiting for the year-end ranking of all the organizations.
Oh boy.
So even if you don't have the cameras, will you still go to any football games?
I have no.
You're taking this Saturday off? Is that what you're saying? Where do you go?
Probably should take your wife out for maybe hit up the old wine and roses.
I might actually go camping this weekend.
there
I
you
don't know. It would hurt a lot to go to a game and not be able to stream it and video it and do the things that I love to do.
The old selfie stick on the phone and the old school.
The old selfie stick.
Can't do that again, man. Going backwards would hurt. Going backwards would really hurt.
If you come to the Knights game,
hey, there we go.
I'll be the guy on the ground, and I'll have my iPhone, and you can stream it off of my iPhone. You can do the top.
That's what separated us. Anyone can take the phone down and do that because that's what you see all the time. And I think the reason why we separate ourselves from everybody else is we were able to capture the quality. Because, like I said, we invested in the quality and the angle.
Well, you get coach's view. I'll put a thing on my chest.
We had ideas all the way. We had.
You have a lapel mic still?
We have the lapel mic. We
Helmet
have a
cam.
GoPro.
Look, I'll let you mic up some coaches at Chiefs game.
Yeah,
and a free
I don't know how many people. How many would you agree to a mic'd up? Would we be able to mic you up?
I know you don't want to mic me up.
Could we post it on YouTube afterwards? That would
not
be
me, but I got a coach you could.
Everyone feels. Yeah, everyone feels the same exact way.
You could post everything that I say. You could post everything that I say on YouTube.
Oh, I don't know what you're getting into, man. You think the parents are bad now?
I don't say anything bad because I don't know. Sometimes I don't know whose parents are doing the chain gang.
Well, and at RC, those stands are right on top of the field.
That's very true.
With
So you can't get away with
no
much
track.
either.
They are right there.
That's
You can hear all the parent suggestions. Huh?
Oh, all of them. Mostly they're my own father's.
Yeah. Hey, after that Central game, I turn around, and my own father's not even at the game, but Fred's father is standing there, 2 arms up. Let's go, boys! Yeah! Hell yeah, Tim. Hell freaking yeah. And his grandson plays on the team, so he's all jacked. He's ready to rock. And he's driving my my golf cart around. And my license plate says D's nuts.
Yeah.
He parks it right up by the front door. That's great. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. It's been a great podcast. Anybody got any words of wisdom? One sentence that they want to say to wrap up the whole podcast? Freddie, I know you got your line.
My standard? Don't let your meat loaf.
Don't let your Willow?
Kids, buckle your chin straps. Buckle your chin straps.
Mouthpieces in.
Yeah. Buckle your chin straps, son.
Head up, eyes to the thighs.
Oh, easy,
There
that's
we go,
me.
huh?
Don't you try to coach me up? Yeah, you're coaching me up right now. Eyes to the thighs.
He's not familiar with hot tackling.
It's been a while since he's had a hot tackle.
All right, coach.
He's a shoulder tackler.
Put me in,
He's
coach.
a head and front
He's
guy.
I'm a head front. I'm the head behind.
there we
Irritates
go.
the shit out of me.
Oh, boy.
Some
Here we go.
weak ass arm tackling bullshit. Fucking head behind.
This guy used to have a single bar face mask guy.
What bar? You had a bar? Pussy. Pussy had a bar. Unbelievable. Fucking
Leather helmet.
RC had a bar.
That's fine.
Oh wait, no, that was before RC had football.
That's true, yeah.
RC's only had football for 15 years, probably. Right? 15?
No,
Something like that.
the high school was before the youth program. So the
1
youth
year.
program, I mean, I coached at RC youth program 15 years ago. Hunter is
So
28.
maybe 17 years ago?
Really? That
The high school was 1 year before the youth
the
program.
youth? That's all? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they're doing good.
Come a long ways.
They have come a long ways.
All right, Coach Matt, any words of wisdom, anything you want to let everybody know?
Just thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys having me, and to everyone that's donated already to the GoFundMe, thank you for that. Really appreciate that.
Yeah. 10 more bucks coming your way.
Everything.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You made eye contact.
Eli's gonna bring us recycled
appreciate
cans
it.
in tomorrow and get some more.
Go right to the analytics. I can see if you actually donated. No, just thank you guys for having me on. It's pretty cool. I really appreciate any and all help that I can get.
Yeah, that's cool.
I appreciate you joining us. It was
Way better than Anthony's podcast.
Yeah. But you all three guys, you guys both agreed to do it within the last 24 hours, pretty much. So I appreciate you guys joining us for another YuSkool episode, and thank you for driving all the way from Lodi, Stockton area. That's awesome, and I really do wish you the best of luck in getting your gear back and getting back out on Saturday afternoons watching football.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And the kids really do benefit from it. Coaches benefit from it. Parents benefit from it. So if you've benefited from it in the past, hey, now's the best time.
Donate.
Toss some money his way, whether it's $10, $20, $50, $100. We know you got it. So to all the men and women serving this beautiful country, whether it's air, land, or sea, whether you're two-legged or four-legged, we appreciate your service. I think I screwed that up a little bit, but everyone keep your stick on the ice and have a nice long day. YuSkool out.